last time, we awoke in the tavern, the Golden Stag. The gentle smell of wood smoke, tinged with the sickly sweet aroma of burning flesh, roused you all from your sleep, and you made your way downstairs into the common room, one by one, bit by bit, all collecting in the main area and enjoying the sparse breakfast that was put out. It was a conversation about where to go, what to do next, and after a short amount of time, you all decided that it would be best for you to pay your respects to the fallen Braskov. You did. You left the tavern and saw the ghostly, ethereal funeral procession at the docks. You had a few heartfelt moments with some of the characters you've met before. Said your final goodbyes to the ones that unfortunately fell during the attack of the Strigoi. And you set about your daily business, not having too much of a tie to the town of Braskov, all of you being fairly new there. You went to the shop and found that your heroic efforts have been rewarded. And you went back to the bar, had a brief conversation about the strange prediction, the strange reading of the cards that Tavana made. She told you of what she thought were the biggest threats to the town and gave you some pointers on where possibly to look next if you decided to pledge your help further. Though she said that was not necessary, as you had all done enough already. Something was niggling at you all, though. And this was the flight of Magar the Blood Magus during the fight. So, Leokwanar, opting to stay at the Golden Stag, to drink to the dead and listen to the songs and stories and revelry, split from the party. And the rest of you crept through the foggy, dark, wet streets of Braskov to the stone tower of the Blood Magus, Magar. Without too much trouble, you managed to enter inside the building and found a grisly scene. The events that followed were harrowing and affected one of you very profoundly. Though you all managed to deal with that situation very adeptly and without too much consequence, you also managed to avoid the notice of Braconesti, the lawkeeper. And upon doing so, you scooped up a handful of books, the only ones that you deemed safe to touch, and also took a small tapestry, on which unfortunately Torlek's shield was then taken and deposited into. So you all decide to leave the house, which was probably the best decision you had all made that evening. You had the blood and gore cleaned off you. You all were left standing in the street with your hearts pounding, your adrenaline rushing, listening to the soft pitter-patter of the rain. That was where we left you all. But for Leokwanar, the evening went quite differently. So as you were standing in the Golden Stag, in which we will go to now, listening to the weather outside, the Golden Stag begins to fill. Various denizens of Braskov start pouring in, all with grave-looking faces. They enter quietly, silently, until they see Victor behind the bar. And with each one, he greets them. Come in, sit in the lights and be comforted. Says this to each one as they enter. You notice as you're standing at the bar. And with each one he hands them a drink. They all take places at the tables, and you can see there's like a slow murmuring to start with. People talking in hushed tones in their little groups. Exchanging stories, sadness, condolences for the events of last night. A few minutes pass, your friends have not returned yet, but the murmur starts to grow, and with each pint that is drunk, the mood in the room lifts to one of not mourning but celebration of life. Several members of Braskov take their turn upon the small stage set at the back of the room near the fire, and they take up drums and flutes. Some sing, and the atmosphere is now hopeful of healing, of moving forward. So this is the atmosphere you find yourself in now. As you stand at the bar, several of the members of the public have spotted you and have raised a glass towards you, though none have approached you properly yet, as if they're still unwilling to converse with an outsider on such a personal moment for the town, though you did play an integral part in the town's survival. So you can see Victor is quite busy handing out drinks, slinging drinks. Everything seems to be on the house this evening. There's no money changing hands. And every time you get to the bottom of one of your cups, he puts a fresh one in front of you. Is there anything you'd like to do as you're standing here in the bar? Is there anyone you'd like to speak to? Anyone you'd like to look for? Would you like to take up your instrument and sing for us?
Is there anyone at the moment?
Is there anyone what?
On the stage at the moment. That's one on the...
Currently the stage is empty.
Anyone?
And the last person that got up to sing was Vera, this halfling. Yeah, this halfling, a sort of middle-aged halfling woman with very calloused hands. And from the tone of the song, you don't recognise the words. To you, this sounds very much like a sea shanty. You assume from the song she's singing that either she or members of her family work on ships or at sea. And it's a real knee slapper. People quite enjoy that one when it lifts the mood. But since she finished, there's been nobody else who's taken the stage. There's a few people now sort of slouched very far over, struggling to hold their heads up. So if you wish to take the stage, the stage is yours.
Alright. Can I have a quick scan about, see if there's anyone I know, like maybe my big mate, Knal, was he about?
As you scan about the room, it's quite easy to spot Knal. He's sitting by the door on a table with... Where is Knal? Where is he? He's sitting with a large male Goliath with a scarred face, a very imposing beard. And he's also sat next to... I've got a huge list of everyone here in town. There we go. Another sort of very burly half-orc, this time in what you've noticed to be guard attire. There seems to be a small group of the populace that take it in turns to man the watchtowers each night. you can see this this other half orc bears a striking resemblance to Kutnar in the way they're slapping each other on the shoulders. You can tell they're very close. They're either related or very good friends. And the three of them are sort of sharing large steins of Victor's ale, drinking it down. And every now and again, you can hear Kutnar or his half orc with the Goliath sort of belly laugh. And at one point, you see Kutnar slam the table. They seem to be sharing what you assume to be old war stories. They haven't noticed you yet, though.
That's fine. Right, now I guess I'll down the rest of me drink and walk over to Kutnar. And tell him this one's for you, old boy. You better join in.
Kutnar turns and goes, "Ah! Kutnar has waited for this. Ah, Chul, this Liaquano. He play the Raging Bull of Brasco. Kutnar favorite song." He slams the table. You can see his brother Chul goes, "Ah, yes. Chul also loved this song. Raging Bull of Brasco, keep Chul warm on cold nights." You see the Goliath that is with them sort of staring at you with his one eye and his beautiful beard. Sort of looks at you. He's saying, yeah, you can tell he's almost like he's weighing you up. He's sizing you up.
That sounds like.
Yeah.
Alright, how many drinks have I had at this point?
Sorry, what?
How many drinks have I had at this point?
Alright, you've been in there. Been in there 20 minutes, so roll a d8.
Oh, let's have a look. Six out of 10, 6 out of 8.
Yeah. So you've had 6 drinks.
True to life.
True to life, yeah. You were drinking quite slowly to start with, but as the mood of the room picked up, so did the rate at which you were down in pints. And with Victor constantly putting a fresh one in front of you, you're not quite sure how many you've had. They're all starting to run into one another. You can't quite remember finishing one, as there's always a fresh one put down in front of you. So you're feeling overconfident. And this Goliath sort of rears back in his chair and says, "If you were to play our favorite song this night, it would mean much to Vant." And he bangs his chest. Vant lost his son last night. Vant would very much like to hear you play. Please, entertain us now. He sort of stares at you with his one eye.
Alright, and guess I better take the loot up to the stage then, huh?
Mm-hmm. How do you deal under pressure? How do you do under pressure?
Well, my performance skill's pretty big, so, you know.
So 3 of them, the most huge, muscly people in the bar have told you that they want you to perform right now and entertain them. Do something funny now! So, what is your performance modifier?
Let's have a look. +5, mate. It's pretty big.
Oh,
Pretty big performance.
okay. That's going to set the DC for this. So, what are you going to play? You've been told what the words to the Raving Bull of Braskov are. Godfrey, I let you know what they were.
Yeah. So I've kind of, I don't know, I might have my own sort of version of it, but I know the words, I know the general sort of, you know, sort of feeling behind it, and I think I can get a good performance in. I can have a go if you want. try and judge for yourself.
All right. So you're going to try and play the Raving Bull of Brasco.
Yeah, I mean, it might have a few embellishments, you know?
So this will be a straight roll in. Instead of being able to use your skills, you're not singing songs from outside the realm. So it's going to be a straight performance roll for this. But you'll be making it after you sing us the song. So, all right, let's have 4 lines of the Raving Bull of Brasco for a tune.
Fuck your 4 lines, man. I got 4 first.
Go for it.
This one's for you, old boy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. As Kanar slams the table, everyone in the bar sort of turns around and waits.
You're pretty good with oldies. It's an oldie where I come from. It was a summer night in Brascoff. The air lay thick with us, and the smell lay thick in the air. When was born a bull, a sturdy bull, but nobody seemed to care.
Outstanding. You can see this bangs on the table.
It wasn't until the bull grew to be quite strapping. His horns were long and thick. The people thought that was impressive until they saw his dick. Oh, the horny bull, the horny bull, the horny bull. Oh, the horny bull, the horny bull of Brasco. I need you to join in with that chorus, by the way, so you better learn that.
Outstanding. Outstanding. So roll a performance check for us, please.
Hey, there's so much more.
Your embellishments have gone down.
There's so much more.
Is there more?
There's more though. I don't think I like the first verse.
After that first verse, you see Ba'ant stand up from his chair and go, "Those not the words Ba'ant remembers. Play the song Ba'ant remembers." He stays standing.
Okay.
Tough crowd.
Sure is.
You can see Chul
Oh,
and Kutnar are sort of giggling at your embellishments, singing about the bull's dick. And a few other people are giggling, but you see there's quite a few unhappy faces that you're changing one of their songs. Keep going.
the bull was the only farmer's male. He had to be kept separate from the dolls. The field was green and luscious, and the water was as blue as his paw. Oh, oh, the horny bull, the horny bull, the horny bull. Oh, oh, the horny bull of Brasco.
That's brilliant.
Outstanding, outstanding. So the second verse, it's going to be up to your party members. Do you think you should be rolling with straight roll or advantage? Were you entertained?
I hope the neighbours can hear me banging on the table.
Fucking advantage, mate. That was glorious.
Advantage. Okay, so performance roll with advantage.
Oh,
It is so. It's a 10 plus
9. So
10 plus what?
plus 5, mate, for performance. So
15?
9 plus 10 plus 15 then.
15. With that, everyone starts to stand up and goes, "Yeah! It's good!" You hear people cheering around the room.
So there better be. I need help with the chorus. So
Okay, so tell everyone
keep
what
up then. The chorus is oh the horny bull, the horny bull, the horny bull. Oh the horny bull of Brasco.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's worldly, but you get it in the end. Do you want to say it first?
Go for it.
The day had come for the horny bull. The heifer's eyes were as dark as coal. But the bull ended up with a black eye of his own as he stuck it in the wrong hole. Oh, the horny bull, the horny bull, the horny bull. Oh, oh, the horny bull, the horny bull.
There's a raucous applause from around the bar as Leo finishes his song.
I'm not finished, mate. There's another verse, so fuck off.
Oh my god.
Regret what? Regret how Glenn?
Oh, not regret if you gotta sing the songs. So you can see the entire bar is with you now. Leo is just pouring drink after drink. Everyone's at the bar slapping the stein to the song. Leo's giving you one of these from behind the bar. And you pulled it out the bag. You pulled it out the bag, my friend.
Right. The bull's mishap didn't stop him. He rampaged on 2 more. The farmer started to rent him out. Braskov's first bovine hole. Oh, the horny bull, the horny bull, the horny bull. Oh, oh, the horny bull, the horny bull of Braskov.
Okay.
That was amazing.
So, is that the final verse?
That was the final verse, yeah.
Final verse.
There was a reprise of the chorus as well, but I'll leave that.
The entire place erupts and sings the chorus over and over again. It eventually peters out, where you can see that you have lifted the entire mood of the town of Braskov. So roll for me 5d20.
Inspiration for the whole town, I think.
Oh, there's a 20 in there, mate. There's a 20 in there.
As you look, you're so caught up in playing the song and making up the words on the spot to this tune, and trying to remember what it was that Godfrey had told you. You just didn't quite notice the shower of gold coins that was coming your way. The tinkling of gold now stands out in your mind, and you look around you on the floor, and there is 79 gold scattered around the floor at your feet.
Dollar bills, yo.
Probably richer than the whole party combined now.
Good times.
Yeah. So with that, like the bar, you can see the bar is still at like this heightened state of emotion. Everyone seems really happy at the moment, which feels wonderful. You can see Victor's like sort of beckoning you over to the bar, and as you do, you walk past the tables. People are going, "The horrible, the horrible," and like people are still singing the chorus at you. And as you get to the bar, Victor goes, "Did not know whether you would be able to pull that out. I had faith in you, as to why you stay here and drink here for free, but my word, that was the best damn performance of that song I've ever heard. Congratulations.
My pleasure, old boy.
Do you want a job here? I have an opening. It comes with a room and food."
I'll have to come back to you on that one. Just keep the ales flowing for now, and we'll speak in the morning.
This I can't do for you, in fact, for you I will get out the good stuff. And you see he goes behind the bar and he brings out this really dusty bottle of the clear liquid. And he goes, we will drink this tonight, you and I. We will celebrate this. And he pours out 2 shots. One for you and one for him. And as soon as it's out, he goes to the light. Downs it.
Nice. Good time. I'll
Drink
go
those
to the
shots?
pub. Yeah, I'll have a shot.
Wonderful. Constitution saving throw, please.
I knew that was a mistake. Let's have a look. Plus. Plus. Plus -1.
But -1. That's enough. It's fantastic. It tastes kind of fruity, but it's so very alcoholic. It's got a really sort of bitter umami flavour of alcohol running underneath the tiny sweetness of berries. Smells like a summer meadow as you put it to your face. It's the most delicious alcohol you've drank in a very long time. So you can sit there and knock a few of those back with Victor. You don't have to do any more Constitution saves just yet. Is there anything else you'd like to achieve while you're in here?
Nah, mate, I just want to drink. I might go sit out for a while. Just, try and make some buddies. New drinking friends and that, I mean, I understand they're a lot bigger than us, so they'll probably drink us under the table. That's okay.
They're drinking steins, so you might stand a chance. So yeah, as you walk over to Kutnar, you can see Kutnar, Chul, and Va'ant are all sort of hugging and round the table, and as you walk over you can hear them going, "Do Nicole, do Nicole," and just singing it. And then Chul goes, "I like the bit, Chul like the bit about his blue balls. This make Chul laugh." And as you walk over, they just go, "Ah, yes! Drink with Chul, drink with Kutnar. This will be a great evening. We will remember the dead. We will celebrate their lives. We will do it. He's the best musician we have heard in a long time in Brasco. This makes us very happy." And Va'ant sort of looks at you and goes, "These not the words that I remember, but they make Va'ant smile. Va'ant forget his misery. You can sit with Va'ant. It is good."
Good times.
These guys are definitely Klingons that are in disguise.
Very Klingon.
I had Kutnar down as a sort of what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy type.
Right.
Yeah,
Drax.
Drax.
Yeah. He's quite Drax in my eyes.
Okay, so as you sit, you see them wave to Victor. And Kutnar points at your little mug of ale and go, "Kutnar will not let you drink puny ale if you sit with Kutnar. You must drink Kutnar ale." And then Victor sort of puts this big jug down in front of you. The stein that they're drinking and just goes, "Good luck with this. You probably won't be able to sing later, but yeah. If you need a bucket, let me know." And walks off. You can see in the bottom in this huge stein is this like thick, black, treacle-looking liquid that smells pretty much like horse piss. And Kutnar's like, "Drink with Kutnar!" And he just sort of lifts his stein. And he's got his eye on you. Chul drinks his. Va'ant, you can see, is drinking a bit slower. He's got his eyes, one eye on you the entire time. Waiting to see what you do.
I guess I'm drinking it, man. Down the hatch, boys!
Outstanding. So, make another Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, it's already queued up. 7.
Oh.
Drink with big boys.
So with this, you take a mighty swallow. Tip the stein back. You get a little bit too much flow on it. It runs down your face, up your nose, and you just spin it everywhere. It goes all up Chul, and Chul's just like, "Ah ha ha! Chul is amused! Puny man! He sing well! He cannot drink like Chul and Kutnar." And they just burst into laughter. Kutnar slaps you on the back, you almost spill what's left in your stein. And Kutnar goes, Could not understand. Could not ill, very strong. Take it slow. Tell Kutna where you are from. Tell Kutna of your travels.
Oh well, I guess I better sort of like wipe that off my face and just just get back down to earth. So I'm told that I'm not from around these parts, that's for sure. I came here looking for adventure and heard that this was quite a grim place. So I came on a boat. This old darkness thing's a bit of a stranger to me. Where I'm from, the light shines all the time.
And with that, all three of them lower their mugs and go to each other. And then the ant leans in close and goes, "Did the ant hear you say the light shine all of the time where you are from?"
Yeah, boy, can't you see from my tan?
Very quickly, the mood at the table changes, and the ant's huge arm comes around the back of his shoulders and pulls you in close and goes, "The ant recommend keep that quiet."
I'll bear that in mind. The Okanor will remember this.
The Aquinol will remember this. Kutna cuts in and goes, "If you are from a land where the light shines, you have passed through the maelstrom." Did Kutna hear that right?
Pass through is a bit of a strange one. We were on a boat, and the boat just ruined. And there was a big storm, I remember, and then the next thing I remember, I was on a shore. These shores. And it was dark. Very dark.
Yes, it is always dark here. So, Kutna like you. So Kutna give you this advice. Sing song of the light. But tell no one that you have seen it for yourself. Dark forces work against those that wish to find the light. Any that? He looks over his shoulders, left and right. Any that say that they have seen the light disappear into the dark forever. Kutna do not want this for you, Liaquino.
Liaquino will remember this.
Do you wish?
I don't know if you're lucky to remember anything tomorrow.
Is there anything specific you wish to achieve with these three, or do you just like to sort of talk into the night and make some new friends?
Make some new friends with a bit of darkness camaraderie.
Okay.
Drinking stories.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, and then it's going to take you at least 4 more gods to finish that. So persuasion check with advantage, and then 4 constitution checks to see what state you're in when you reach the bottom of your spine.
So, persuasion check with advantage is 17 plus 5, let's say. That's approximately loads.
22, yeah.
And then the ever decreasing rolls. Let's take them and let's take them one by one. No.
Not an ideal start.
Rally. Puke and rally.
That's
Puke and rally.
exactly what
Get better.
happened.
Second wind.
Yeah. Then down again. Down
Uh-oh.
again. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a puke and rally situation, and it ends
The
in
first goal
5.
you take, whilst conversing, the conversation is going great. You take the first proper gulp of this treacle horse piss, and it just immediately comes back up and spills back into the mug.
Oh, rank.
Kutnar and Chul are immensely tickled by this. And when you then go in for your second gulp of the same pot, there's just a round of applause from all three of them. Like, they respect that. It then goes swiftly downhill from there for you. You actually manage to stomach the next 2 gulps, but then when you turn to signal to Victor for more, you just keep going off your chair onto the floor. You can hear raucous laughter around you. Strong arms pick you up and plonk you back in your seat, and you're in that sort of state where you just can't quite get your chin off your chest. There's a raucous laughter. So the rest of you, I pick for you now, as Leo enjoys his complete and utter stupor. The rest of you are out on the street in the dark, misty, rainy night of Nebraska. You've just got out of the absolute horror show that is the Magar's house. Which of you picked up the books?
That would be me.
Would be you. So Torlek, you can have a quick flick through the books that you have. You have one, which you can see the title quite clearly on. It's bound in red leather and looks to have been well used. Quite old. And as you look at the title and flip to the first page, you can see that it's a history of Westervelt as approved by King Ceolwulf.
Okay.
The second book that you have seems to be slightly different from the rest. This one's bound in a black material. You're not quite sure what it is. It's not quite leather and it's not quite fabric. It's something strange in between. As you flick through that quickly, you can see that this looks to be the mechanics of a set of spells that's been annotated. Parts of it have been redacted, scribbled out, and other things written in. So you look through it, you don't quite recognize the spells that it pertains to. You think that this would require someone with a better knowledge of the arcane to understand what's in this book. You have 2 other books that are bound exactly the same. Very plain, nondescript brown leather. In one of them, there is a black quill sticking out as if it's some sort of page marker. And in the other one, there is a white quill, also sticking out as a page marker. So with these, do you open them?
I'm going to wait until we're back in the tavern where it's not raining and horrible, because that sounds like it requires some investigation.
Okay, fantastic. So is that what you all intend to do? What would you like to do now, standing out in the dark street?
I mean, we came to get information if there was anything in the house, so I guess we've done that.
Don't know about everyone else, but I could use a stiff drink.
If you fancy reading that magic book, I recommend we tie you down first.
I know, right?
You've not even bought me dinner.
You see Sindri just nods along, wide-eyed, as if haunted by what he's seen.
I go feed Mardra again.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Mardra is in the stables behind the Golden Stag. So do you guys make your way back brazenly this time, or are you still trying to stick to the shadows?
I think it best we be surreptitious, guys, don't you?
Oh, I'm great at that. Don't worry.
He says, clanking along in his scale mail.
Just disadvantage with -1 dex. Be great.
It's not that bad. It is raining. Okay, so if you guys want to do this surreptitiously, good word, Ben. And let's have a stealth check from you all, please.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, I've got disadvantage, crap. Oh!
Oh!
That would be a disadvantage. I have a 3.
Okay.
And even if I'd took the higher one, I would have a 7. So, not ideal.
Outstanding.
Rolling well tonight, boys and girls, 18 and 20.
That's it. So, as you all sort of make your way, following the route that you took down the back alleys from the Golden Stag, the only one that seems to be sort of not making any noise is Torlek, but that's only because the rest of you are making so much noise that they can't quite hear the clank of his particular armor.
I've forgotten to turn the light off on my shield.
So as you get a few turns away from the Golden Stag, you see a figure at the end of the alleyway sort of approach you. You see them look sort of side to side as if they're trying to work out what they're seeing in the night. And you hear a deep female voice go, "Who goes there? Who is that?"
I'm just not going to say anything.
The figure it's continuing to walk towards you, still shadowy. Do you guys stop? Do you continue? What do you do?
Just continue on. We're not doing anything wrong. We're just
Yeah.
out for a stroll in the rain.
See?
Don't rush roll.
Who the
We're
fuck's
cleaning
he?
up after all those strong beers.
Just walking it off.
I'm gonna go and relieve myself.
After all the
Strong
shit
beers.
that's on that house. Frightening thing I've seen.
Its squat, armored form comes into view. You see, she's got a female dwarf, very muscly, face that says that she spends a lot of time out in the weather and she's seen a lot of hard things. And by the look of her armor, she looks to be one of the ones that mans the watchtowers at night. She approaches you. She goes, "Ah, I know who you are. My name is Radha. I watch the towers at night. Though you should be wise to remember that when I call who goes there, you answer. Though the town is hallowed, we still don't know what creeps in the dark corners." Silent bunch you are. I suppose
Not quite silent enough.
from cool drinks and warm food at the Golden Stag, so I'll let you be on your way.
Just sort of not say anything, just give her a nod and keep walking.
So she passes by. You can see there's a filthy looking great axe on her back, which is strapped down. It looks very formidable, almost as if like swinging this thing would throw her off balance. She's sort of strutting down the alley towards the outer wall where you know one of the watchtowers is. And she passes around the corner and out of sight. You're alone again in the alleyway.
Shit.
Smooth.
don't know why you're all acting guilty. You've done nothing wrong.
After the blessing I gave that house, you can put it right back on the property market, man.
Yep.
Come on then, guys. Let's
Get the smell out of there.
let's get inside, get a drink, have a look at these books, and see what Leo's up to.
Scant moments later, you're standing outside the... Do you go back to the rear entrance or do you walk around to the front?
Rear entrance for me to try and slip in if possible. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
the way
hopefully
we
no one
left.
will notice that we've just not been there.
Are we gonna go in a bit separate and want to spend some time with Madra and then go in?
Slip it in the rear
Well,
entrance.
to get into the rear entrance, you've got to pass by where the stables are anyway. So we can go to Arwen as she walks into the stables. You can see it's nice and dry and warm. Modra's sort of doing that weird thing the donkeys do, where they're just down on their legs, just sort of sitting there.
I'm obsessed with Madra.
How are you doing? It looks like she might be asleep.
Sitting down.
Modra does. Modra's got sore legs from being a pack mule.
Right.
Weird.
Modro will remember this.
I guess if she's asleep, I'd let's go in then.
You don't want to wake her up, you're just going to leave her to sleep.
Yeah, well, it seems a bit mean to wake her up.
You know Modra, like, if you wake her up and give her a carrot, she does not care if you've woken her up. As long as there's a carrot or a turnip or something involved, Modra does not mind being disturbed.
I'll just leave the carrot next to her and go inside. She'll know it's from me. Thing.
So wait.
So as you put the carrot down next to her, you see her nose sort of go, and like her ears come up and she comes away, and it's like, ooh, straight onto the carrot. Just sort of munching away. Happy donkey noises. As she munches away on the carrot. You know, Modra never lets food sit for too long. So the rest of you can enter into the back room of the Golden Stag. This time you hear the ambience in the common room. I mean, it's permeating through. Every time you've been in here, it's been quite a quiet atmosphere. So to hear it sort of bustling with lots of loud speaking, and you can hear laughter and reverence going on in the other room. You can hear some people chanting the Raging Bull Braskov. It sounds very, very light-hearted and happy in the other room. But as you walk in, Katiana's sort of in the kitchen, chopping vegetables on the side and throwing them into a large pot that's over a brazier. And as you sort of enter into the back entrance, you go, "Oh! Oh, I wasn't expecting you to come through there again. I thought you'd be front. My, you startled me. I had a knife in my hand and everything. Where have you been? You're all wet."
It's damp out, Katiana. Just sort of give her a little smile and walk straight past, as though this is completely normal. Just brazen it out.
Wet muddy boots in the kitchen. Oh my. Okay, this one time you can do this. Next time, please use the front. Use the front.
Sorry.
Can I prestidigitate the floor to clean up our mess?
She moves towards the brush and goes, "Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you. Do you want the job?"
I think we're a little preoccupied at the moment, but when all this is over, I'd love to come back.
I'd love to have you. That'd certainly make things a lot quicker for me around here.
Anything we can do to help while we're here?
Well, start by using the front entrance from now on.
They say I will remember this.
And she just sort of turns and says, chopping back. "Strange folk." Starts chopping the vegetables again. And as you do you just brazenly walk out from the kitchen into the common room, or what are you trying to achieve here?
What? I'd like to try and slip out into the main area, like as surreptitiously as possible, so that people, it's not wildly apparent that we're coming out of a back room, or we don't want to be seen arriving really, or like seen to be acting weird. We want a good alibi if anyone comes asking where we've been or whatever.
Alright, okay. Are the rest of you following this train of thought? Are you going to see
That
how it
seems
goes
fairly sensible.
forward?
Sure.
Okay. So let's have a stealth check from you, Torlek. Not with disadvantage, because you're not trying to be quiet. You're trying to be unobtrusive.
4.
Yeah, so as you open the door, and sort of peep out, and then sort of decide that it's good to step out, you step out, and Victor's standing right there and goes, "Don't make a habit of using the kitchen. We have a front offices. Okay?
Sorry, Victor.
It's alright. I had drinks in my hand, I almost spilled them. Would you like one?
Ooh, let me help you with that. Yeah, no, just sort of.
Wonderful. All of you out of the kitchen now. Tatiana is trying to cook. Do not disturb her. So, he lets you in, gets you to stand at the end of the bar, he gives you all a drink, and he goes, "Here, we need to drink first to the dead of Rask. Many drinks will be had this night."
Already been on.
Yeah, I'm still not quite with it, so I just mumble something and start drinking.
I raise my glass, don't say anything.
And he goes, "It's good to see you all can handle your alcohol." And then he points across the room to where you can see Leo's in a chair, surrounded by 2 half-orcs and a Goliath. It's just sort of, they're flicking bits at him and drawing a mustache on his face with the foam off their beer.
Yeah, to be fair, I've been drinking all night.
Yeah, so he's completely out of it. But they seem to be taking good care of him. You can see every now and again they lean over and give his face a little pat. And then they have a laugh.
Make sure he's alive.
Yeah. So Victor goes, "Did not do very well drinking with Katna and Chul. They can put it away, those two. I think he got sucked into the toxic masculinity of the moment." So, the rest of you, would you be liking rooms for the rest of the week? Or do you have other plans?
I'd like it for the night at least.
We can do the nightly basis, that is fine.
Yeah, me too, please, Victor. Just tonight, and we'll see.
Okay.
Same. Might be leaving tomorrow, and what these books say.
It saddens my heart to hear this. I had hoped that you might stay with us a while. It's been a long time since we had heroes of your caliber here in Braskov, other than Gustav. We could do with some people to train new recruits to man the walls. But maybe next time you come through. Your rooms, food and board here are on the house. You can stay as long as you like.
Thank you.
Provided
kindly.
you keep an eye on him. And he points back over to Leo, who's there. Hey, Constitution chip with disadvantage, Leo.
I might wander over and give him a medicine check to make sure he's still alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So as you decide you're about to wander over, you just see Leo go all over himself.
Oh, nice.
Doesn't change his position. He's literally just and then just back to where it was. Just a big
We've all been there. But
tick go over. Then Katnar and Chul just laugh. They don't seem to be bothered by the smell of it. They just keep drinking their black treacle horse piss. So is there anything you guys would like to achieve now, other than the medicine check on Leo? While you're in the bar, you can see several people around. Or would
Can
you
I-
all like to retire to your beds?
Can I see a table where there's, you know, a bit away from people where we can sit down and have a look at these books and a proper chat about them? Or is it really rammed?
It's pretty rammed. There's a few tables that you can see with people sat on them with a few chairs around them, where the people are just like the two poor elves in the front of this picture, just a head on the table, completely out of it. So you assume you can have a quiet conversation over there as they're completely gone. Other than that, it'll be a quiet standing corner sort of at the end of the bar where you guys are.
Unless someone's got a bigger bedroom, if it's like...
The options, you could retire to your rooms, you know, or meet in one room and talk if you want for some privacy. Or you could go back out to the stables where Mordra is.
I don't want to expose Margaret's potential harm.
But Leo looks like he's in good hands, so I'll just turn to the others and go, shall we just go upstairs and have a little bit of a more private conversation, guys?
Sounds like a plan.
I don't want one of those books like going wild in the bar with just have a quick drink.
I didn't hear a word of that.
Same.
Oh,
Say again?
I was just saying that probably safer to do it like in case the book kicks off in the bar full of people, at least upstairs, just to like match the noise and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
You guys agree that Sindri sort of turns around and goes, I feel like I need a few stiff drinks after what I've seen this evening. So if you don't mind, I'm going to stay down here. Drink with Victor. I might even play a song or two.
Okay, cool. Keep an eye on Leo, make sure he doesn't die.
He just gives you a thing that don't fill you with any confidence whatsoever.
It's like, well, yeah, I'm not healing you both if you fucking drown.
All.
That's what hangovers are for.
Cool. I'll just clap him on the back and then make my way upstairs then.
Okay, you guys can make your way upstairs. You're the only one staying in the Golden Stag, so you've got your choice of the rooms. Now you can pick any of the ones that you stayed in last night to have a conversation in. Is there a particular one you want to pick? They're all very much the same, furnished with a dresser, with a washstand, and a simple cot. Most of them have a window outside, 2 of them do not.
I'm just imagining wanting to meet stuff one of those books out the window, so maybe a room with a window? I don't know.
Yeah, in case we have to jump out of it, that sounds like a plan.
Always have an escape route.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not being a box room if no one does.
Okay, so we'll say you all enter Torlek's room, which has a window looking out the rear of the building towards the stables.
Oh,
You
look,
close the
look,
door.
there's a donkey.
Hey!
You can hear the murmur of downstairs, but it's not too obtrusive. You feel it'd be fairly private area to converse in.
Alright guys, well, this one, and I'll hold up the red book, looks like basically propaganda. I'll have a look at it, but I don't think it's going to be tremendously helpful because it's a history approved by the king, and just sort of toss it onto the cot. And then the second one, this, found in this weird black substance. This very much looks like your domain, and just hold it out to Jess.
You take the book, Jess.
I'm gonna ignore that subtle burn, and yeah,
Are you gonna read it?
I'm gonna take the book and very carefully examine the outside.
I was gonna say, 'cause I'll cast protection from evil and good on you if you start reading books.
Am I getting any like spoopy vibes off it?
Not off the.
No. I mean, it's not made of skin, so that's a good start.
No, it is made of a weird substance, one that you're not quite familiar with either.
I mean, how much weirder can tonight get?
You believe it's some sort of creature's hide.
Creature, not people. That's still a step in the right direction. So I'm gonna take the crossbow off my hip and lay the quiver over on the dresser, and then accept the book and have a look inside.
What do we think? Should I cast protection from good and evil on her, or should we save it for Torlek reading the other 2 books?
Well, when I flicked through it, nothing bad happened. It looked
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like a
You've already
mundane
opened
book.
it and
Okay.
no one's died, so I think it'll be okay. I'm just
Just get
a
ready
little
to
rattled by
tackle
what's
her,
happened,
guys.
so-
Like,
I just very unsubtly just rest my mace on my shoulder.
So,
just give her a reassuring smile and a nod. Just you'll be fine.
as you take a breath and carefully prise open the cover, there's a being imbued with arcane power. You recognize what this book is. And this is indeed what Torlek suspected. It is someone was a book working out spells. It's got lists of components in, of verbal and somatic instructions and drawings and diagrams. Let's have an Arcana check off you, please.
okay. Oh, nice.
Good. Okay, so as you read through, you can see that it has been annotated and changed, and it looks as if someone is trying to, as you read through the book, working through the process of taking an existing spell, which you recognize as locate object, and they're trying to subtly change it in a way that would in fact reverse the polarity of the spell. So it would either hide an object or area, and you can see that they got a good way through the book before all of the writing in it just stops. Like, it looks as if it's about to continue on to the next page, and the next page is blank. And as you flick past that, you see that the rest of the pages look scorched, as if some sort of, as the book was open, as if some sort of explosion, or what's it called? I don't know what it's called. My head's a bit addled with some sort of washback of magic, sort of, as a
Backdraft.
backdraft. That's it. Thank you. Like a backdraft has happened and over the book. So it looks as if they got almost there.
Yeah.
And you're not quite sure if there was an accident in what the room in where they were, or whether the spell that they had tried on the last page had gone wrong. But it looks to you, with your knowledge and with what you've read about, this is almost complete.
Could be useful. Especially if you expand it to cover the whole town.
Yeah.
You can see that by reading it, it looks as if it was either to cover a large object or a large area.
I was gonna say that's
So
what I
it's
want to
under-
know.
It's immense power.
Because that's the whole town's in danger at the minute because everyone knows where it is. If you could take it off the map, be safe.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see that it requires some apparatus to be set up to help power the spell, and the spell itself, the actual muttering of words, is the ignition that will start all of the components that will then make this spell work. So it looks almost complete.
What I want to
Do you
know
think
is
you could finish it?
I was about to say, does it look like I'd be able to work out how to finish it?
Make an intelligence check for me, please.
Okay.
I'd
myself
like
something.
to, as she tells us that she's going to be doing this, I'd like to just gently touch her arm and cast guidance on her.
Oh, thanks.
So have a D4.
So it's 17 overall.
So you believe that with a little bit of time
Mhm.
and room to experiment, you could probably get this to work. There's a good chance you could get this to work. If you can get the materials needed for the components, the area needed to practice, and a little bit of time.
What kind of materials do you need?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I mean, at this point, Jethel is like the events of tonight are almost forgotten. She's beside herself with excitement. It's very much guys, we could actually make this work. We could hide it. It's never been done, but we could do this.
So there is a list of components in there, most of which are quite mundane. You can see that it's copper pipe and glass beakers, sort of stuff that's very common and able to be procured, probably at Bath Sparta. But there are some items in there that are exotic.
Okay.
Any indication of how large an area it can cover?
Yes. You can make. Now you understand it. Make an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay. 17. Definitely not that second one.
Okay, so you reckon to do the spell as it is laid out in the book, exactly as it's laid out in the book with the list of components, that you would need an area about half the size of the town of Braskov to work this on. I think you know that if the components are not set up in the right place, it's probably what has caused this backdraft of magic. If it's too concentrated, then it can go wrong. If it's too spread out, it won't work. So it requires a very precise amount of space, which you reckon, without studying the book further, which will take time, would be an area roughly about the size of half the size of the town.
And is that the size of the area it will hide? Sorry, as well.
Yes.
Okay.
You can see that what looks to be the components would be set up around the outside of the area, almost like watchtowers around the outside of the area.
And would they need to stay set up for the spell to keep going?
Without further study of the book, you're not quite sure, because this is big magic that you're not quite familiar with. If you have a cursory glance over the book, you'd have to spend a bit of time with it and actually properly read through it, which will take you a few hours before you get a more of an understanding of what is going on there.
Okay. So I'll turn to the others and just ask if they're all okay if I hang on to this for a bit to keep looking and studying it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right, where are we?
Even if it can't cover this town, it's pretty important knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first big component that you know that you need, that is mentioned there, it's just got lots of scribbles underneath it and a few exclamation marks, is, where is it? An ice to Garin heart. Those of you that are from the Islands of the Moon know that there are no dragons on the Islands of the Moon. There are very large reptilian creatures, quite similar to them, and they're all land-based. There's no flight. So they sort of charge around on four huge muscular legs with a long tail, very armored, huge beasts called Tugarans. And depending on what sort of terrain they're in, they change ever so slightly. So you know that there's ice Tugarans, which are named more for the colour of their scales rather than where they are. They're usually found in the sea. you know that there is a species of mountain tugaran, which is a lot more sort of shoulder heavy, bristling with almost rock-like jagged spikes that come out of its shoulders, with a long tail, renowned for whipping rocks at you and breathing molten lava. So the mountain tugaran is quite formidable. It's considered the worst out of a lot of them. There are a couple of others. There's a spined tugaran, which is usually found in swamplands.
Are the ice ones like marine creatures, or they like live near coasts? You mean?
They're coastal, so I can kind of think of them like huge Galapagos iguanas.
Okay.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Water
That'd be a bit
type
easier to find it in the sea.
Sorry, the spined tugaran is usually found in areas of forest, and then there's a swamp tugaran, which is usually found in swamps. And they're all
poison type Pokemon.
differ slightly, and they're the most feared creatures in the islands, as they're just massive. Next to the Lord of Whispers and his minions, the tugarans are the most revered and most feared creatures in the islands.
I mean, this is a fishing town. It's possible someone might have seen one.
Even if they had, do you think we could take it on now?
Well, that's another question.
Okay.
Maybe it just like takes its heart out and leaves it around in the cupboard or something.
Possibly.
Carries around a spare.
Yeah, you know.
Maybe
don't
you
wanna
could
lose
dress
it.
up the female Tugaran and steal a heart.
You think it's a metaphorical heart?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
doesn't
think
sound
we'll leave
bad,
that up
right?
to you, Leo.
And that's something that people would hunt otherwise, that you might be able to just, like, I don't know, buy a heart somewhere. No?
Possibly.
That's an interesting question.
You can make a history check, Arwen, as you are the merchant of the group.
18.
18. You've never heard of one being traded before. They're extremely, extremely rare. As tugarans are quite hard to put down. And harvesting their organs is even harder.
Okay.
Imagine we couldn't afford one even if it was someone selling it.
It's an ice
Could be a
tugaran's
dog.
heart. Crystallized. With an 18, you know that an ice tugaran's heart, when it's cut open, its organs begin to crystallize. And they crystallize in this sort of clear, white-blue, like quartz, sort of harden up and crystallize. And if you don't get it before it fully crystallizes, it's ruined. And you've got to have special
Does it-
containment gear.
Does it specify it has to be like a fully grown one, or could we like just find a newly born one and just step on its neck?
Wow.
When
And that, with Jess's roll of 17, I will say, you will, Jess, when Godfrey says that, you look at the diagram
Mhm.
in front of you, and you believe that with the Ice Tugaran's heart being the main big component in which the spell is cast into, the larger the heart, the larger the area it'll cover.
Okay.
The smaller the heart,
Right.
smaller the area, and you'll have to work out exactly how big an area you can make with the size of heart that you've got.
Don't skimp on the main bit, man. However.
Just find a really old one and wait for it to die of like old age.
So
Right.
if we find a huge one, Jess, you're saying theoretically we could hide the
The whole
entire of
city.
Braskov.
I think if we find a big enough one, we can do the whole town.
Yeah. That would be about right. You also need a few other components on the list.
Okay.
So you need 3 jugs, which is about a gallon, 3 gallons of Torlek bile. That's Karzalek. Karzalek bile.
Gallons of bile is quite a lot. Unless
That
that
is
matters.
quite a lot. Do we know anything about those little guys? Or hopefully medium guys, we need 3 gallons of it.
So,
Or they come in like a big anthill. We can just smoke.
Torlek and Godfrey can make a history check.
Cool. Fuck.
11.
Where's history? 4.
Four.
You know,
You've heard of them. You can't quite remember where they're found or what it is about them. But they are known as the bile beasts.
Well, that's a
Or
lucky at
commonly.
least.
Renowned for spitting some sort of reactive bile
Yeah.
as a sort of defense and attack mechanism.
We just carry a big bucket and catch the bile in it.
okay, Bagsy not doing that.
Have you started upstairs or?
Okay, you
No.
go get the Togger and Heart, we'll go get all the other things.
The last unique item that you need is the soul of a Nocnitsa. Nocnitsa. Nocnitsa.
How does one gather a soul?
I mean, there is actually a spell called Soul Trap, but
Yeah.
it's quite high level, I think.
Right, so with the Nocnitsa,
Soul Cage, 6th level spell.
it'll be Torlek, Godfrey, and in fact, all of you bar Leo because he's knocked out could probably do a history check on a Nocnitsa.
Gonna roll 20 this time. Ooh,
Oh, nat 20 plus 6.
well, I got a 19, straight 19.
I got 17.
At least you know things.
Okay, so you all know what Nocnitsas are. They're not common. The thing that they change from is. So it is wide knowledge that the superstitious will create scarecrows that are very much like Dreamcatcher-like in construction. There's a specific way they've got to be put together, and they do look like some sort of charm. Because you all know what it is, I will put it in Discord. And they are to keep evil spirits away. They're actually there to repel the undead and repel ghosts and that sort of stuff. It's 50-50 whether they work, because the people that have one around will always say it works, it keeps them away. The people that find out if it does or not, those ones that may be unlucky enough to find out if it doesn't work, are never there to tell the tale afterwards.
I mean, it looks more like a thing a ghost would haunt rather than run away from, but sure.
Exactly. So, the scarecrow itself is to keep ghosts away. But in the rare occasion that a spirit inhabits a Nocnitsa, the soul scarecrow, it becomes a Nocnitsa, a haunter of dreams. So to find one, you know you would need to get the soul gem, which is what is commonly referred to as like a large lump of blue quartz that's always put in the middle to represent the soul. You need to get one that has a spirit trapped inside that quartz. That's what makes it a Nocnitsa. They're usually in children's fairy tales and stuff like that. It's leading children away astray into the woods. So if you don't go to bed and eat your leeks, the Knockmeatser will come in your night and ruin your dreams.
Okay, so we've just got to get the heart of a nightmare, kill a giant dragon, and get vomited on by a load of beasts.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
Easy.
totally achievable.
You want to get the flares in town, mate? I'll sort you right out for all these.
I was about to say, all that shit's on the big market.
100%.
the soul scarecrows things just to come
So you can see that, like, with the list of components required for to carry this off, like it's on a size like that, like it's quite a powerful spell, quite a high level spell, and it'll last as long as those components stay up around the exterior.
Okay.
Well, useful information, but perhaps not something we can act on right now. But what we can do is look at these other two books.
It's true. I hope it's a list of where these things are found, just lying around.
A list of known not
Yeah.
locations.
Where I hid my stuff.
Yeah. One is my evil plans and me, and the other one's where I hide all my cool stuff.
Or go for the Magi.
So I'm going to take out the other two books and say black or white first. Alright, I'm going to flip a gold piece. DM, will you flip a gold piece?
Sure
I
enough.
mean, that works.
Heads for black, tails for white.
I got tails.
Tails it is.
So
So,
it's the white feather first.
yes. Just gonna
Okay.
take a leaf out of Giselle's book, if you'll pardon the pun, and just put lean my mace against the wall, like on the other side of the room before I start investigating.
Can
I'll
you guidance yourself?
return the favour from 5 minutes ago and pick my crossbow back up, and we'll go back to the little exchange of nods. Nothing personal, but books be crazy here.
I can guidance myself, and I will do that.
Nice.
Okay. So what are you guidancing yourself to do here?
I
You have
assumed-
guidance on yourself to open the book.
I assumed
Strength
I would
check.
have to make an investigation check to find out what's cracking, but if I don't need to, then obviously I won't guidance myself. I'll just.
Well, are you
open it.
investigating just the external,
No, I'm
the
gonna.
exterior of the book?
No, no.
You're gonna dive in.
Well, you said that it's just plain brown with this white quill sticking out, so I'm just gonna open it up.
Nondescript, the white quill. Okay, so again, take a breath, and you peel back the cover of the book, open it up as you do, and as you open the cover wider and wider, the hairs on the back of your hand begin to stand up. There's the slightest hint of magic. And those of you that are watching can see the feather quill start to flutter ever so slightly and rise. And as it does so, it forces the pages open to where it is resting. It falls open. And as it does so, a piece of paper falls out onto the floor. And you see the quill has started to flutter gently, as if there's a slight breeze on it.
Maybe it's just
Okay,
Rita Skeeter's quick codes quill.
It's gonna be like, yes. What does this look like to you?
Does
I mean,
it look like anything I'm familiar with?
Yes, you might recognize it as some sort of of arcane spell enchantment type thing. There's something arcane going on there.
I mean, when we found them,
Sure
I had
why
detect
without-
magic, so
Without either sort of like it's you like detect magic or maybe a really studying it and doing a good Arcana check might give you a bit more.
I mean, if we wait 10 minutes, I can cast detect magic again.
I can cast Identify on it. But first, Godfrey, what does the paper that fell out say? Just sort
okay,
of-
I'll pick up a piece of paper, I guess.
Okay,
Probably says, whoever reads this dies. Oh,
so you can see that there's blood on this paper.
of course there is.
Just going to open up Messenger and send you it. There we go. So you can see there's blood on it, and as you open it up, it is written in a well-educated hand.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just read it out loud then for them. Wait, I'm gonna read it first. 2 seconds.
In the meantime, while he's reading it, what can I see on the page that's open?
Oh, I've got the wrong page over there. On the page that is open, you can see what looks to be details of the local people of Braskov. It's all in little snippets. The most recent one is Rosler is close to breaking. And as you scan up, you can see other notes like this in the book. See another one that says, Siko will steal the ingots. Of this I'm sure. And as you read through more and more, you can see that it looks to be details of every member of the town of Braskov as you flip back through the pages. And it looks as though it's little snippets of them being coerced closer and closer and closer to committing a crime.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'll read the note out. Basically, it's a note from the governor about some people trying to cross. Like, Governor Min Scotes. The bearers of this letter have bought safe passage from Dalbart across Festival to the port of Braskov, and from there to the island of Steinhaven. Ask not their names, they are as ghosts. Their departure from Dalbart has been swift and in the dead of night. For them to remain here would cause great unrest and certainly drain the life from the kingdom. They must vanish. However, allow them entry into your town and passage from the first ship to Steinhaven. They've paid enough to cover 3 days' stay in one of your establishments. The payment will be sent to you in the usual manner. See that they are well treated. Bertan Zenovius.
Biatan Zenovius.
That mean anything to anyone?
None of you are from Steinhive. I would say the only person that might have a shred, an outside chance of knowing who Biatan Zenovius is would be Jessail. We'll make a history check.
Okay. Sorry, I was checking something else. I did not history good.
No. The name is familiar. You have heard that before. You just cannot place where or in what circumstance it's come up, but you have heard it before.
Okay.
Well, on the plus side, if we need to go to Steinhive, we have safe passage.
They've bought passage from Dalbart to here though. It's not going back.
No, it's a.
Dalabart is the capital town on the island of Vesterveld where King Ceolwulf.
Yeah, so
The
the
black-
person
the
got
Black
safe
Wolf
passage
Keepers.
from there to here.
And then on to
Oh, but we're
Steinheim.
also on to Steinheim. Yeah, you're right. So we could do the other half of the journey.
I mean,
And
if we
you don't
clean
need a
the
name, so that works too.
if we clean the blood off, and if we need to go, it's worth holding on to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder where the people are that it belongs to.
Make an intelligence check.
I mean, given what we saw in the house, they're probably not anywhere good.
Yeah. Intelligence. I think it's just straight 13. Yeah.
Straight 13. The blood, the way it's dried on this,
Probably
seems to
burnt.
match up within maybe a day or two of when the first of those bodies was killed and exsanguinated in Magar's house.
Well, at least probably no one will come looking for it.
True.
True.
Alright, well, I want to know what the enchantment is on this book. So if no one's got any objections, I'm going to cast Identify on it, see where all this information is coming from, and see if we can learn a bit more about who's been logging this and why. Because it sounds a lot like pushing people towards doing bad things to make them want to hear a whisper to me.
Can you do that as a ritual? I don't know.
I don't believe I can. It's a domain spell for me because I'm a knowledge cleric, so I might be able to actually.
Yeah, I think it is a ritual spell.
Let's ask.
Clerics
Well,
can do rituals.
I can cast it just as a level 1 spell.
I just mean because then you could identify all the books and the tapestry thing without burning up all your spell slots.
True. It is a ritual, yes. So I'm gonna cast Identify on it as a ritual then. If you give me 10 minutes to just sit with it, guys. Meanwhile, here, and I'll sort of. Well, I mean, do you want to look at the other book while I do that, or do you want me to identify everything, or what do you want to do?
I mean,
If you want, we can tag team because I can do Identify as a ritual as well.
oh, there you go.
Sounds good. High five for magic usage. And I'll pass her the Black Quill book.
I guess I'll just stand watching them both.
The ritualistic nature of casting ritual spells can be quite interesting to some.
Seen it all before, mate.
Suggest you open the book.
Oh god.
This is me, of course. I open the book.
Okay. So as you open this book, this nondescript brown leather book, very similar thing starts to happen with the quill that happened with the white quill. And as the pages fall open to the middle, where the quill was holding it open, the two quills together merge, the slap,
Ooh.
float to the floor. What now lies on the floor is a silver quill, shining silver. It doesn't look to be made of silver, but it's shining silver in colour. And it's just sort of, it's like it's hovering just above the floor. So waving back and forward. As you look onto the most recent page of this book, you see, I have walked in Vera's dreams again tonight. I've shown her the shipwreck again and again. Slowly her mind weakens. And then underneath there is a very detailed description of a female halfling. Two female halflings on a small ship caught in a storm. They are terrified, hanging on to each other. see the Vera, the main subject of it, is shouting for Brosla, her sister. Brosla is swept overboard, and the ship begins to take on water. And Vera is terrified, her mind is racing. She can't see Brosla in the storm. And as the ship begins to sink, she does the only thing she can think of is to climb up the mast. So she gets to the very top of the mast. And the ship doesn't capsize like a normal ship would. What actually happens is it just starts to lower. And it details the absolute terror in her heart as she watches the black waves coming to meet her. And then all of a sudden, she is enveloped in darkness. And then there's a jar, as if it stopped suddenly. The writing stops suddenly. There's a slash in the page. As you flip back through the book, you can see there are other entries in there. The next entry is a detailed entry of a half-elf called Siko, and how the dream is showing him that to create the thing that he wants most in life, which is to recreate his father's sword, he needs some specific ingots, and the dream is showing him where they are. And in the dream, he sneaks into the house. He sneaks into the house that he knows is a male elf called Casimir's house. It says, I'm inside Casimir's house. And move through the corridors to Casimir's bedroom. There's a foul smell in the air, but the glint of the ingots shines from underneath Casimir's bed. And as he creeps closer and closer, holding his breath with every step, you can see the gentle rising and falling of Casimir's chest and the gentle exhale of Casimir as he sleeps. And as he gets to the bed, he kneels to look underneath. And as he reaches out and places a hand on the ingot, Casimir's hand lashes out and attacks around his neck. Blind panic before he bludgeons Casimir to death and takes the ingots. And then stops. Jerks. As you look back through the book, you can see now so many different names. There must be at least 2, 3, 4, maybe more entries for each person that you can see. It looks to be every single person in Braskov. It seems to be details of weird dreams that have been altered and skewed over a very long period of time. It's currently resting at an empty page. You can see the silver feather is floating above the floor now. So we can say that in time you flick through that, the time that Torlek has flicked through the other book, that you managed to set up your ritual, and the two of you have managed to cast Identify in that time on the books that you have in your hand. The book that had the white spell, the white quill in, is not magic at all. It's mundane. The book that had the black quill in, there is an enchantment on it. Very simple enchantment. It would be evocation, and it is a component of a larger spell. The main component of the spell is a silver feather lying on the floor. Now, Identify, I believe, tells you exactly how to use the spell.
Yeah.
So, this is a spell very much like telepathy. It's altered slightly, though. And it requires the silver feather to be placed within an arm's reach of a creature. And while that creature sleeps, the quill will move in time with the dream. And whatever is written in the book happens in the person's dream.
Okay.
Wow.
It's like Death Note, but for dreams.
Exactly. It's a dream
I'm
note.
gonna.
One neuromancy.
So you've got yourself a dream note. So you can do this once per day. You can alter the dreams of the nearest sleeping creature to the silver quill. So you can see after all the entries that are in these books, that it looks as if Magar has been up to this for a very long time. You flick right to the start of the books, there are names there that you can see by the progression of things now have been put to death.
Yeah. So he basically drives people to commit crimes and then kills them for it.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
What
your
day?
book's what he did. This one's how he did it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if we were going to take him to trial, this would be some solid evidence.
yeah.
Well, it's
Seems
always
we
good
could
to
use it
have-
for good though as well.
Yeah, Inception
So-
book is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it a one use only sort of thing? So like once the dream that's written in the book has been done, it's not going to happen again?
Yes, you can see
Okay.
every dream in the book is slightly different. There's some dreams, like Vio's
Just
dream,
so. Sorry.
very, very similar, but something changes. Something subtle changes every time. So it's never the same dream, but the large parts of it stay the same. Like in some parts, as you flip through, you can see. Thank you, Jen.
Someone's having fun downstairs in the bar. Goodness.
Sometimes it's not the ship sinking. Sometimes it's huge black tentacles coming out of the water and pulling the ship down. Sometimes our sister is there with her, and it's the shared fear. So it's every now, like the dreams, majority of them stay the same, but things change.
Okay.
So the
I'm
dri-
just checking we're not all going to have a load of Raj nightmares tonight if we
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our
You
room,
keep
that's
that bloody feather away from me.
Well, you
That's-
believe the feather is next to a sleeping person, if you don't write in the book, what will actually happen is the book will transcribe their dream.
Yeah. Also, don't leave it next to me again. Double don't.
I'm
Thanks.
gonna fold the
Please.
feather very carefully into between two blank pages in the book for safety.
So as you try and put the silver feather between two blank pages of the book and close the book, you can see that it shudders violently and comes apart.
Oh shit.
It's a black feather and a white feather again.
Yeah. Must only stay as the silver one while you plan to use it, basically.
Precisely. As soon as you return the quills to the book, they separate.
Okay.
And that is the spell finished.
and it's a once per day thing. You think, Jess?
Once per
Yeah.
day. We know that it's once per day. You know all the bits and bobs of how to do the spell.
Yeah, so it's once a day. For now, let's put the quills back in their books, and then if we need them and we open the two books again, we should get the silver quill back. If I'm
Surely we could put both quills in the magic book, and the other one's just a mundane journal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you just
The
get
other
them
one is
together
the
for
Mundane Journal of-
cross-referencing.
Yeah, used for cross-referencing to see. You can see there's sort of like a weird rotation. He seems to focus on certain people and get them to a certain point, and then move on to somebody else. Focus on them, and then move back to those people, and he goes round and round, slowly driving everyone to acts of violence or theft.
It makes sense if he picked them off one at someone would notice something was going on.
So now that we've had our Drax character, yeah, and that's blatantly like some knockoff Rocket Raccoon that's swinging from the chandelier in that picture, can we call that Peter's Quill?
Oh my god!
Wah, wah, wah.
I just took 8d10 psychic damage.
All of the players take a d4 psychic damage. Not the character.
Yeah, boy.
Ugh.
Puns on them.
Ow.
Well, I don't know about you guys, Arvin Godfrey, but I think that Inception book is best placed with the magic user, don't you?
Yeah, I don't really want that anywhere near me. Just-
Yeah, same.
Okay, I'll
As long as
nod
it's not
and
going to corrupt her.
I'll wrap it up in something and then put it in my bag.
Not
My
the-
little satchel.
Let's all make a deal that if people start having weird dreams, that we keep an eye on Jess. She should not stick in the
Tinfoil.
at the near.
I have the decency to look genuinely hurt.
I'm just gonna quickly try and move the conversation on by going, so, there's one more thing that we have to look at, and it's this, and I'll pull the
Oh, yeah.
the rolled up tapestry back out.
Well, I thought you were going to pull something else out. Jesus.
Way! No, I'm not a bard. And as I'm keeping it rolled up because it's still cinched up with my belt. But I'm gonna say, firstly, has anyone got any twine to tie this up with? Because I want my belt back. Secondly, I was thinking about this. Our first instinct was to destroy it. But what if we didn't?
Go on.
If we're being set upon by a horde of enemies or whatever, it'd be really nice to point this in their direction.
I thought you were going to suggest we all jump into the tapestry, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a great plan.
If it,
I mean, you
If
could
it-
just throw it over someone and then they'd be in tapestry.
Out.
no, if it tries to pull material possessions from from whoever looks at it, might be quite a nice thing to use to defend ourselves with if we're outnumbered or whatever.
Yeah, I see the merit in that.
It would be interesting to try and enact that. I feel like if you were in a situation where we were hidden and they put it out as bait, maybe, but otherwise it's like, what, you're like a matador waving it.
You hang at them.
Yeah, they might
Duck
just
into
think
an
you're
alleyway and
surrendering.
leave it spread across the entrance.
Yeah. I'm not.
Hey guys, look at this tapestry.
Well, if anyone has any better ideas, of course,
I mean, you're a cleric. Maybe you could just pretend like you're proselytizing to them. Like, have you heard the good word of this tapestry? It.
When someone asks us
my
anything we
eye.
don't want to answer, we've recorded this tale in a tapestry.
I think it could be good as a trap, yeah.
yeah.
Cast identify on it and see if we can work out how it works. That might be better to use as a trap if we actually know how it works.
Yeah, we have to touch it though for identify.
Yeah, but we don't have to look at it. We can leave it rolled up.
True.
But it's just like,
I'm just going to identify this by not looking at it.
I would just like
Magic,
get,
bro.
take away, leave your valuables off your person when you touch
Yeah,
it.
that's a good idea.
That thing is having your pants.
I mean, I've already put the books away and they're the most important things to me right now, so.
No pants for you.
Fine, I'm going to take off like my cuirass and everything, so I'm just in my like normal clothes, if you like, and then try casting identify on it in case it tries to nick anything off me. And I'll just say, right, give me a few minutes, guys. Just give me quiet and just sort of shut my eyes and put my hand on it. Cast identify as a ritual again to try and ascertain its nature.
Okay, do you leave it rolled up?
100% I do.
100%. Okay, so as you kneel on the floor, surrounded by quickly scribbled chalk markings with the tapestry laid out in front of you, you concentrate. There's a burst of realization in your mind. The magic on this repulses you to your very core. You've not felt anything this evil and tainted. This is worse than anything you've ever experienced on any of the islands. This is not from this plane at all. It is a mixture of hellish magic from realms long thought lost to antiquity. You know that it has abyssal language on it, which hasn't been a thought on anyone's mind in over 200 years. You can see that there's a weaving together of hell magic and curses. It's a very, very complex item. But you get the gist of how it works. The creature looks at the item, and if their will isn't strong enough, the devil of treasure takes something from them and adds it to his hoard. There is a way to break the curse, and the tapestry has to be destroyed for that to happen. But you know that there is a very specific way the tapestry has to be destroyed. And as you focus in on that, you hear a very low, whispery you take 1 point of psychic damage. And the answer is hidden from you.
Okay. Can I ascertain what the voice...
You speak a bit, Phil.
Yeah. Can I ascertain what the voice said?
You would have heard him. You would have heard the voice say, "This is not that easy."
Okay. So as this happens and I take the psychic damage, obviously to the outward observer, I'm just sort of knelt there with my hand on the tapestry, and as this happens, I'm just gonna sort of recoil off of it, like, "Ugh!" Like, and you know, sort of sweating, heart pounding, like, bad, and just relate exactly what has just happened to everyone else, because that's quite fiendish and scary and evil magic, and we need to be extremely careful about something like this.
Yeah. I mean, I could try blessing it, like the house, but unless we know that's gonna work, it might not be worth it.
I mean, for the sake of one shield.
I'm kind of inclined to think it's an even better trap now, because if those whatever the like followers of the Lord of Whisper are kind of weak-willed at all, then you can make their shit the trap.
That's true, Owen. However,
Yeah.
in fact, you're really good at merchanting. Can I? Okay, so I have like a good memory for things because of my observant feat. Can I relate to her kind of the exact contents of the treasure hoard, because I've seen it, and just say how much do you reckon that amount of items would be worth? Because if we do happen to find a way to break the curse and get all of that hoard out, that's a lot of money that could do a lot of good.
True. Maybe they've got like an ice thingy heart and loading bile in there. Who knows?
Yeah, I wanted to know if it was silver in there.
Yeah. So, DM, can I kind of... Do I have that ability to relay that information? Do I have to make a check or...?
Ooh, yeah, I will say that yes, you can make a history check with advantage.
History
And
check.
then Arwen can make a... I don't know, what would this be? Let's be an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay, history check with advantage.
Oh.
Fucking hell. So 10 and 10.
10.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done.
That's still pretty good for a 4.
Yeah.
Christ's sake. And my advantage for... What is it? Intelligence check with advantage.
Intelligence check with advantage, yeah.
The advantage is the plus whatever, right?
No, you roll
No,
twice,
you get...
and then take a high number.
Twice. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I don't know.
And then add your intelligence modifier.
Okay. I keep pressing this button the wrong way. Oh, okay. So 6. And my modifier is... I have none.
Then
Well,
It's a 10 and a 6.
10 and a 6. Somewhere between 5 and
1 million.
5,000 gold. Maybe more. Give or take 5,000. Depends on it could be gold.
I guess if it's give or take 5,000, it could be up to 10,000. So
Could be up to 10,000.
Well,
Could just
it's
be
a lot, is what we're
Could
saying.
be a load of chocolate coins for as much as you guys know.
it was just like, but it was owned by some child, and it just kept stealing these chocolate coins over years.
Mm-hmm. You know that it's at least going to be worth the price of your shield. And that's as much as you can gain from that.
Alright, well, I mean, I've seen a treasure hoard in there. That's, you know, if we happen to be able to find a way to wrest this hoard off of something, and I stress that we need to be extremely careful if we attempt to do so. That might be quite a lot of money, which could go quite a long
You
way.
just send it as a chain letter to all the lords. So they all lose something really powerful, and it comes back to us, and then we're just like, okay, now just crack open this bad boy, and we're sorted.
I reckon if we're able to safely carry it around with us, like, then we should. But gotta carefully package that thing.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it's only dangerous if we look at it, right? So the way it is now, wrapped up and tied shut, it's no threat to anyone. Although I'd rather someone else carries it because it offends my cleric sensibilities quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because you
whoever's wiser should probably carry it, and that ain't me.
Would
Wisest.
the whole business of it laughing and like saying it wouldn't be that easy, was that only because you were casting the spell or because you were physically touching it?
When I cast Identify on it, I gleaned some information, and when I went after the information related to destroying it, I was rebuffed by something.
That's why. Okay.
And it seems extra planar, like, and it's written in a business. It could be linked to the Nine Hells, like, I don't know, but it's scary, and you know you don't know how deep the roots go with something like this. Like, it could be linked to some very scary things, so we need to be extremely careful.
Yeah.
You get like a lead box to keep it in.
That's what I was just thinking.
If we're actually looking
at bats. Bats have lead boxes.
I mean, if Ben's character isn't the wisest, then I'm guessing it's probably mine. It's the clerics.
Well, I have a wisdom of 17.
I've got 18, so I've got 1 modifier higher.
Mm.
Cool.
So not a big difference.
Well, Godfrey, you owe me a belt, and I'll just sort of pass him the.
Okay, you can keep the belt.
You can repurpose one of the curtain ties in the room
Oh, yeah.
quite easily.
Nice.
You can have your belt back.
Okay, well, I'm gonna shut it in my tinder box, since I'm never gonna use it with light cantrip.
Fair enough. How big's your
I was
tinderbox?
gonna say, would it fit?
Just fold it up. I don't
You
know. I don't know how big's a tinder box. I'm not.
Tinderbox is usually about that big.
Shit.
Yeah, you'll need something about that big, like about that big.
Well, I haven't got any other boxes.
to carry it that big.
We're gonna have to go back to what got me. No, I said Beal on the Bard, but that's not it. It's called Bathing.
Yeah, maybe we could go to Baths and just say, have you got a scroll carrier or case?
Yeah.
You know those like art.
A lead scroll case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those like cylindrical ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I like plan.
Wonderful. Okay,
But since I'm sleeping in the tavern tonight, I'll just put it in the middle of my bedroll, leave it on the floor.
Cool.
Okay, wonderful. Is there anything else you guys would like to achieve this evening, or shall we go to bed?
I'm happy with going to bed, but in bed I'm gonna read the propaganda history book
Nice.
for a little bit of bedtime reading, and depending on how much I'm able to read, I'm gonna read the. Did we give both of the We gave both of the Inception books to Jess, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Well, I'll read the propaganda book then.
Okay, wonderful. So you guys can make your way back to your own separate rooms to bunk down for the night. The murmur downstairs in the bar has sort of dipped as it gets later and later and later. You can hear there's someone up doing a very sloppy rendition now of the Raving Bull of Braskov.
Hey, hey,
Shouting
hey, hey, hey,
They're shouting all the rude bits really loud. The rest of it's kind of nonsensical. So the rest of you can all sort of bed down. Torlek, as you're reading the book, you can see quite clearly that it is entirely propaganda. It seems to have almost been dictated to some poor wretch by King Ceolwulf. The most interesting part of it is that where are we? It starts in the year 18 sundown, which is over 100 years ago. It's 171 years ago. It talks about where are we? No, sorry. Starts in 10 sundown. I'm looking at the wrong city. I've got two very similarly named cities here. So it starts in 10 sundown, and it's 199 sundown now. So it's 189 years ago it starts with the fall of the city of Dalabart, and how the King Ceolwulf at the time was Lord Ceolwulf, part of the Lord of the Whispers retinue, rode in on his silver horse, and when the inhabitants of the besieged capital town of Dalabart saw him, that they all bent down onto their knees and begged for his forgiveness, and the island fell to King Ceolwulf. He alone was the hero with the power given to him by the Lord of Whispers. Since there, it goes on to talk about the grand wedding of King Ceolwulf and Queen Hildegard later that year, how they change the fortress and call it the Black Wolf Fortress. And then it talks about later on in 34 SD the siege of the Black Iron Bastion on the island of Strigan, and how the King Ceolwulf again rode in on his silver horse, this time accompanied by the Lord of Whispers himself, and between the two of them they managed to subdue the entire island of Strigan with a smile and a wave of their hand. And it's very much like every time there's any sort of strife, King Ceolwulf rides in White Knight style, right up until modern day. It ends in the year 151. There's no entries after that. 151 sundown, where King Ceolwulf slays the entire Order of the Death single-handedly in a cunning feat of heroism on his part, and how the forest was elated that these villains, vagrants, and terrorists were then killed and wiped from the face of the Islands of the Moon, and everyone could live in peace and harmony under the wise and noble rule of King Ceolwulf. So you can see that King Ceolwulf has been alive for nearly 200 years.
That's unnatural.
And he's a human.
He's human.
Yep.
Vampire.
Yeah. I mean, it's widely suspected that he and Queen Hildegard are vampires, but it's never been confirmed, and no one that's tried to confirm it has ever actually confirmed it. They've always come back and said, no, they're quite lovely. They're the wise and noble rulers, and we should all support them.
just has a really good diet.
Yeah.
Mm.
Excellent conversationalist, and I changed my mind as soon as I met him.
Vegan, organic.
Is usually so. He's one of the Lord of Whispers' oldest puppet kings and puppet lords that he uses to rule the island. The island of Vesterveld was the very first one to fall when the Lord of Whispers started the Empire of Whispers when he started the campaign to take over all of the islands. He was the very first one to fall, and he appointed King Ceolwulf as his puppet king almost immediately.
Interesting. Okay. Thanks for the bedtime reading. Sleep.
Wonderful. Okay, so we can all get a good night's sleep. Apart from Godfrey, who's going to have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
18.
18. So during the night, you find yourself. Normally, your dreams are racked with past mistakes, but tonight, you dream very much of Leoquinor's lute, and how pretty it is, and how well crafted it is. Now, you've never seen anything like that on the islands.
You mean staring at me lute?
And you dream about how fun it would be to play this lute, and how you really want it for some reason. You're not musical, really, other than singing the odd hymn. But this lute, oh, you want this lute. And then, just as quickly as the feeling sort of overtakes you to the point where you feel your leg jerk in bed, you come to the realization you can't play the lute. I don't want a lute. I don't want a lute. And you sort of roll back over and drift back off to...
I immediately look around my room for a silver feather.
Jess, is there a silver feather?
That is some pressed dream shit.
I would remind you all that it's once per day, and we did use it today, even if we didn't use it to do anything.
I'm still half asleep though, I don't remember that.
So, as you do look around the room, the last thing your eyes fall on before you're about to nod back off to sleep is your rolled up bedroll. Sort of drawn to it a little bit.
Cast burning hands on it. No.
Incinerate my bedroll! Make a perception check as well.
Okay.
Nothing to be ashamed of, mate. You know, like, you know, if you want the loot, then you want the loot, you know? Like,
What's me perception?
cool.
+6.
Ooh,
16.
right. So as you stare at your bedroll sort of lazily, not quite sure if you're awake or if this is a very lucid dream,
I could hide the loot in that.
where you hear very gently.
Is there such a thing as a gentle, evil laugh?
It could have been someone outside walking past the window. You're not quite sure.
Oh, well. I was gonna. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I was gonna cast protection from evil on myself, but I guess if I go to sleep, then I will not be concentrating on it anymore.
Not quite, man. No.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh well.
Do you go back to sleep or?
I'm gonna tie. Do I have a window in my room?
Yes, you have.
I'm gonna tie the bedroll to a window to the rope, and just lower out the window so it's like as far away as possible, but I can get it up.
All right. Okay. So you lower it. You're at the front of the. Your window looks out the front. So this will hang down sort of the down towards the bar.
That's fine. I'm gonna tie it to my foot, so if someone tries to steal it, it'll wake us up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
This is a very like Wallace and Gromit style Rube Goldberg device.
Is there a pulse involved?
Yeah.
Is your bed
Okay, so
even
as you
near the- or are you gonna be-
lower it down out of the window, It hangs. How far do you want it to hang out the window?
I've got 50 foot of rope.
How far away do you want this thing to be from you?
As far as I can get it. Can you? What
If-
floor are we on?
You're on the first floor, so you're about 20 feet up.
Okay. Is there like, could I just like yeet it onto the roof of the building next door and then still have it attached to the rope?
Yes, you could. Yeah, you want to eat it across the road to the building opposite.
Roll a yeet check.
Yeah, I need you to roll a yeet check first.
Okay.
Plus
What have we got? So
what's your yeet skill?
plus 4, so 10.
Okay.
I can just
10.
haul it back on the rope if it goes badly.
No, with a 10, you're not under pressure. You take your time with the 10. You eat it, and there's a loud sort of slap as it lands on the roof opposite, and then the rope sort of starts to dangle a bit. You see it sort of pull down the roof a little bit, then gets caught on the guttering. So it's going to be quite secure there all night.
Nice.
And the rope sort of is, when you look at it, there's so many like washing lines and other bits of rope hanging around all over the place. It's nondescript, so no one's going to notice it.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Back to bed.
Problem solved for you.
Not very rational when you wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh dear.
Whose roof was that?
Events are now
Someone
going
who's
to
gonna really
occur.
want to steal your loot soon. Hopefully.
You lose yourself. Keep your loot dreams to yourself.
Filthy.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's loot.
Okay. So you resume your sleep. Let's have a look. What's everyone's passive perception?
18.
Mine as well. Oh no.
Yeah, everyone's passive perception.
16.
Oh,
We're all doing
let's have a look. Oh,
one.
no. Passive perception, something else, but
On
Oh,
your
sorry.
Perception is 10 plus whatever your perception skill usually is.
13.
Oh, perception is 10.
Here, but
Hmm.
hang
So
on
they-
then.
Oh, I
Has anyone apart from Leo got less than 15?
Yeah, I've got 11.
You've got what?
13.
13. Okay, so it's Torlek and Godfrey that have got higher than 15, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pros.
So Torlek and Godfrey, in the middle of the night, later on, early dawn, the two of you swear you hear a window smash somewhere. Yeah. But it's not in the Golden Stag, so probably don't pay it much heed. Definitely sounded like a broken window, though. Oh well. Maybe for the morning. As we continue to sleep it off, the
Oh, I thought it was funny.
murmur of the bar lulls you all into a restful sleep after the intense emotion and the events in Magar's house has left you all feeling emotionally and physically drained. Sleep comes and is very welcome to you all. And with the dawn, you hear the sounds of the town of Braskov returning to its day-to-day business, their day of mourning and their evening of celebration of the lives of the people that fell now over. The day-to-day business is resumed. You can hear carts moving. You can hear sounds from the docks of people shouting and loading stuff. You can hear women talking to each other across the road as they hang their washing out. The rain has stopped. There's still a gentle wind blowing outside. You all come awake as the warmth of the morning sort of ushers you into a new day. You can hear that the bar downstairs is fairly quiet. You can smell some sort of cooked meat style breakfast cooking in the kitchen. It's sort of washing up, especially to those of you on the back of the building. So Torlek and Arwen, you've got windows in your rooms on the back of the building. Sindri's on the back of the building. His room doesn't have a window in it. So there's the cooking smells of breakfast. You can hear seabirds crying outside. It sounds like a nice, calm, gentle morning. For Liaquino, the return to consciousness is not quite as serene as everybody else. Even though it is dark and candles still have to be lit until well into mid-morning, it is far too bright in this room for you. The room spins as you open your eyes. Your throat is dry and your tongue feels as if it has 6 inches of hair on it. There's a roiling, aching pain in your stomach. You realize that your neck has seized as you fell asleep in the chair that you sat in last night with your head lolled back over the back. The smells in the bar, the cooking food and the stale ale, the smell of your own vomit, which coats the front of your jerkin, and the heavy coal smoke from the fire is just making everything feel nauseating, as if you're on a ship in a storm again with the worst seasickness possible.
Yes.
However, it is not the worst hangover you've experienced. You believe you can get through this. So, what would you all like to do? We'll start with Leo first, as you are already in the common room.
Can I just like wipe up me jerkin first and try and find out where I can get breakfast? Like,
Yeah, you can try. The chunks have dried now.
Oh.
You get at least most of the chunks off, but the stain is still pretty evident of what's happened. And as you turn around, you see Katiana sort of standing at the bar, quite sleepy looking, shaking her head at you. That will not do. Those will need to be washed. Come. If you can walk, I will wash them for you. You must help in the kitchen, though. If you want breakfast, you must help while I wash your clothes. Like that. Grubby, and I will give you another pint of beer so you can continue your stupor. Either or.
good. Point me in the direction of what you want chopped.
Oh, I don't want anything chopped. I need someone to fry the eggs.
Eggs I can do. How do you like eggs?
Oh, how do you like eggs? We're cooking them for you.
Scrambled. I can make my own eggs. Don't worry about that.
Okay, wonderful. So you stand, and I need a dexterity check from you, please.
Dexterity check to stand.
You can leave some teeth on the table here.
Let's have a look. Oh, no. I'm grand, man.
Sea legs.
It's with disadvantage.
Oh.
This is a powerful hangover.
Go on, Leo.
What am I doing, sorry?
It was with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage. This is a powerful hangover.
Easy.
Hey. So you stand
Easy.
up and you do one of these as if you're standing on a surfboard.
Captain Jack stance. Yeah.
And then you sort of lean forward with the top half of your body and stumble a bit. Katiana. Ah, the state of you. Look at the state of you. You should never drink with Kutna and Chul. They relish drinking people under the table. Though it did seem you make fast friends with them last night.
Well, I can know that now.
Don't know how long your friendship will last if you keep drinking like this. Come. And she gestures towards the kitchen. You sort of wobble behind the bar, Captain Jack style, get inside the kitchen, and the smell hits you. You can smell the very ripe bin by the door. You can see there's some cuts of pork and ham sort of frying in a well-used pan. You can see there's a larger cast iron plate which would fit over the brazier when she's doing lots of breakfast. This is a single pan. Next to it there's a smaller pan with some eggs arranged next to it. But she's like, okay, so strip and I'll wash these for you.
Oh, we're getting our breakfast cooked by like a naked drunk man.
Oh, he's only cooking his own breakfast.
I made it's not on the menu for you though.
But I hope it doesn't splatter.
Oh.
Yeah, I can strip pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on that.
Just look in the tapestry. Once I hold it back across the road.
Okay. You can see that she pays close attention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want a picture? Last longer.
She just gives you a smile and goes, no wonder you couldn't keep up with Kutna and Chu. Takes your dirty clothes and she walks out of the back into the alley, and you hear just a slosh and you hear that she's vigorously scrubbing them in a wash bucket outside. So you're standing there in your breeches with the eggs in front of you. Do you want eggs or do you just want bacon? Do you just want pork and ham?
No. Eggs, pork, meat, beans,
mushroom. So.
And I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving as well now. Okay, so I need 2 dexterity checks off you, please.
Oh. Yeah.
Gonna fall in the fire.
These are straight checks because you got so well on your standing check before.
Oh, come on. Dex is like my strong.
Straight dex checks.
9, 14.
Okay, what's the pluses?
4.
Right,
so
13 and an 18. So the first egg goes into the pan with half of the shell. You're like, oh. You just sort of mess it about with the spatula. You can't be asked to get that out. A different texture, it'll be fine. Second egg goes in lovely. You can scramble that up.
Once you whisk it up, man, it'll be fine. An egg never hurt anybody.
So, within a scant few minutes, you've managed to create a decent semblance of a breakfast. You can hear Katiana's whipping fabric outside, whipping your clothes, and you can see them like through the window in the kitchen, see her hanging them up on a line. And they're going to take a little while. And she comes in with fresh pants and a sort of fresh tunic for her. She's like, these are Victor's, but you can borrow them for now. I don't want you walking around like this all morning.
Thanks, Caddy. They'll do nicely.
So, get this down your neck and then get out back for a wash.
You still talking about the breakfast?
Shakes her head at you. Hard to be young again. So, as Leo has crafted himself a decent breakfast, what are the rest of you doing?
Hauling my bedroll across the road.
Hauling your bedroll in.
Yeah. Reeling it in. See if I caught anything.
As you pull it off, like whip it, and it flicks off the gutter, it flaps onto the floor. You can see there's a few people sort of...
Just give them a wave. Just keep
look
on.
at this bedroom and then look up at you. See who it is and then just go... will watch you sort of hauling this bedroll in. They watch until it goes up in. It's what looks to be 2 half elves, and then they just immediately start like, "What the fuck was he doing?" And then they just sort of shrug and wander off. You manage to retrieve your bedroll, but it is muddy.
I don't care. I just say to it, I hope you learned something, and then I throw it into the corner and go downstairs for breakfast.
You hear nothing in return.
Good. And then if I see Leo, I'm basically going to wait till I see him, and I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy on myself to make my voice 3 times as loud as usual and shout morning at him.
Oh,
Amazing.
you horrible
Okay,
man.
so yeah, you can go downstairs. Leo, you're gonna stand in the kitchen and eat this like I usually do, hungover, just like over the pan, or you're gonna take it to the table.
I'm taking it to a nice comfy chair.
Okay, so you pick a table away from the one that you threw up in. There's nicer chairs by the fire, so you can perch up there and start to enjoy your breakfast. Do you ale it up, or do you take a glass of water?
Ale. Always ale in the morning.
Okay.
This isn't the trickle piss, mind. This is just normal, good old fashioned. Like Mama used to make ale. Like a nice all day session ale, but like a sort of morning ale.
An all-day morning ale.
You want something crisp and citrusy?
Yeah, something just nice.
Leo's got one. He's got something that'll help Leo. Victor's got something that'll suffice. Something that gets somewhere close. And as you drink that down and start eating your breakfast, you start to feel better. Like hair of the dog will bit you. Always works for you. Always works for you. You piss razors later, but it's a small price to pay to feel better this quickly. And you're about halfway down your mug of ale when you see Godfrey descend and enter the common room. And Godfrey, you sort of see Leo hunched over in the chair, like sloughing down this breakfast and pulling back ale.
Yeah, so I'll just walk over,
wearing Victor's clothes,
lean down and basically scream morning in his face.
Okay, so yeah, Godfrey leans and this booming voice echoes out of him. It rattles your eardrums. But you're already halfway down your ale, so you're feeling a little bit better.
I guess I just squint and smile and ask what happened to you guys last night? I bet you didn't have half as much fun as I did.
Yeah, it looks like. Cursed house, weird books. You know, the usual.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to catch up on that shit.
Who's next?
I'll Godfrey will explain to him everything that's actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah, none of me breakfast.
I don't want.
I don't want
anything you've touched because I seen you were covered in vomit last night.
You can still smell there is something cooking in the kitchen.
I tell you it all leaning as far back in my chair as possible, so I don't have it smelly.
As you're sitting conversing, you see Katiana comes around the corner and goes, "Ooh, right, are the rest of you getting up now? Would you like breakfast? It's cooked this morning, unlike yesterday."
Yeah, I'll have breakfast.
Breakfast sounds pretty amazing, thank you.
Oh, I didn't even see you come into the room, dear. Sorry. Oh, you're a quiet one.
I look between Leo and the pukey table and sort of make that better.
Yes.
Not entirely hiding the slightly grossed out look on my face.
She just looks at you and goes, please stay here.
Oh no, it wasn't directed at her.
Oh, I thought you were making it better by.
Oh yeah, I was cleaning the puke, but I was not looking at her in disgust.
That's why she looks at you and is like, please stay here. You make things so much easier and better. Teach me how to do that.
Maybe when our business on these islands is concluded.
That's fair.
I think that usually means when you're dead.
Is Is your entire party joining you? And do you all like meat? There's no people that just eat the greens. You all like meat, yes.
I don't think we've got any veggies, have we?
No, Alan's just like rocked up as well. She's
There you are. Did you sleep well, dear?
alright. Thanks.
Wonderful. Good
A
morning.
freshly shaven Torlek comes wandering down the stairs, like very fastidious kind of guy. So I'm always like doing my little trim. I nearly cut myself. I tell the party that I nearly cut myself when I heard someone scream at the top of their lungs, "Morning, Leo!" through the floorboards. But
As you descend, she goes, there he is. She looks at you, Leo, and goes, see, this is how you should present yourself to ladies in the morning. Not covered in your own vomit. You'll never meet anyone of substance that way. And she's
just
whips round on herself, back into the kitchen.
Very
Got a
disapproving
plan there.
as she disappears, and I sort of pull up a chair next to everybody, well, far away from Leo.
Yes.
Just kind of sort of smack like, yeah, Leo.
Picturing like a 6-seater table and we're all gathered around one end while he's at the other.
I can use thaumaturgy to relay everything we say to him. He's so far away.
The perfect solution.
The next time you do you lower the level of your voice?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. It was just for that.
You're going to get a cross Katiana come out and tell you to stop shouting. So as you all sit around the table, it's scant minutes before you have a plate of essentially medieval bacon and eggs in front of you. She offers, Katiana says, do you like hot drink, or do you like cold water, or do you want to sup on beer and breakfast?
I'll just have a water.
Alright. So she'll take a drink order off you. They do have coffee in D&D land, because I can't imagine a world without coffee.
Oh, in that case. Caffeine.
Yes, please.
Precious caffeine.
Coffee beans that grow. They also have tea, various different types of tea that they can supply. So if you take a drink order, you can all sit and have your breakfast in peace. And she's gonna.
All about those life-giving beans.
You see Katiana sort of walk over to the table and go, I'll deal with that later. Victor can deal with that. It's his fault. And she returns back behind the bar and starts to clean. And you see she's picking up glasses and taking them into the back room and cleaning them at the same time. Looks like she's bringing new ones out while you're all having your breakfast. So she's just going to mill about with the day-to-day of life of the Golden Stag. The common room is empty, apart from you all. It seems that everybody else either left of their own volition or was turfed out, as they weren't staying there.
Nice of Victor to send us to bed, lad.
So have you been filled in, Leo, on our little escapade?
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like a rough one.
What's happened to your voice, Leo? You
No,
really
no,
are
no.
hungover.
Sounds like you had a rough night, boys.
you now holding your own head in your hands after booming that out.
So, what's the plan today?
Well, we didn't learn anything that would decide between the three places we got told about. Really. So I guess that choice is still there. Actually, the Torlek things. Did you say where they were usually found?
No, you guys couldn't quite remember where they were found.
We should go to the shop and get a lead scroll case.
And a shield.
Yes.
Well, I made some good friends last night in the smithing industry. You might be able to help with a nice lead box for that thing.
Yeah. If you're gonna make the introductions, sounds like a plan.
My friends, yeah, I'm sure they'll sort us out. Maybe a shield as well, as you say.
Good man, Leo. Good man.
So which one of you aren't from around these parts like me?
Awkward silence.
Well, I'm not from far away. I'm from Vesterveld too.
Well, I hear you don't know much of the sun around these parts, and it's always dark.
You learned a lot last night, didn't you?
You needed someone to tell you that.
Well, where I'm from, that would be strange. I feel like I've come to trust you guys, but it's a strange world for me out here.
And why is it so strange? Where did you come from? We know you're not from around here, but we don't know much about your life beyond the fact that you like to sing and drink.
I'm from outside the curtain. The maelstrom, you call it. I was brought here by a man on a boat who asked me to tell his story. But unfortunately, that boat crashed on the way in, and here I am. Hence, alone, sad, and in darkness.
And it's
Yeah.
particularly unusual that like no one comes through.
It's not been heard of in over 200 years.
Yeah.
Well, it may be quite miraculous that you made it here, but you're not alone anymore, friend. And just sort of go to pat him on the shoulder and then think better of it when I start getting closer and smell him.
Yeah, last night basically I learned of these guys that like kind of control your islands and, you know, left the place in darkness. I just thought it was like winter or something, you know, but apparently that's the thing all the time. So it was quite an eye-opener last night. I remember most of this, but some of the finer details are still a bit hazy, let's say. But yeah. So I'm beginning to piece together what's happening here.
What about the rest of you? Tell us more about yourselves. We've kind of been thrust into a bit of a crucible together, and like Leo said, although we trust each other now, we've been through a bit in a really short time. We don't know as much about each other as we could.
Awkward silence number 2.
Yeah.
A tumbleweed, not native to this region, blows from the moon.
That's strange. They never come around here.
I guess I'll just say maybe in time.
I look between the tumbleweed and Leo and go, "Did you bring that?"
But Jess, as you look between the tumbleweed and Leo, you realise Sindri hasn't appeared yet.
Probably dead. We
Yeah,
should all
where
forget
is
him and
he?
move on.
I mean, he can't be in as bad a state as Leo if he made it upstairs.
Yeah, where's your half friend?
Wow. Racist.
I'll just sort of turn to Katiana, who I assume is still bustling around behind the bar, and say, "Hey, Katiana, where's Sindri? Where's the gnome?"
As you say that, she just goes, "Him. We don't know. He got talking last night. After quite a few beers. He was talking to Elchinel, who had... she had finished her watch. Her and Rada are now having to do alternate watches and move between the watchtowers as we lost Citra and Agran. So he was talking to Elchanel. They had quite a few drinks. It looked as if he was being inappropriate. Not quite sure what they said, what was said, but the last we saw of him, he was barging out of the door just before dawn, shouting that he would save the day.
Oh fuck.
And that he would prove that he's worth Elchanel's time by bringing back the head of a ghoul.
Okay, so he's definitely dead.
And we didn't see him after that.
And
I'm
no
already
one
out of my
stopped
seat
him.
with a sort of, oh for fuck's sake, look on my face.
Yeah.
Is there any known ghoul sites around him?
Yeah, you would remember
Yeah.
pretty much exactly where the ghouls were from your chat with
Yes. In the Stranglethorns.
your chat with Tivana yesterday.
Okay, well I guess he's decided forward them. Assuming people want to rescue him and not just leave him to die.
Out of the question. Off we go.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm not on that. All
If
that
you're not,
invested, sure.
if you're not
He
coming,
was
then I'm going by
driving
myself.
back and forward quite a bit, but he does have about 4 hours on you. If he got
Oh,
that.
that's not though.
He's half cut.
He was all the way cut.
Katiana.
But,
go on.
yeah, before we set off, we need to seal this scroll away first. I'm not carrying it around all the time, especially in a ghoul wood. We've been whispering and stuff.
Mm.
The
Leave it in
ghoul would.
Leave it in the room. Lock it in the room.
The ghoul would.
Things the last night lead me to believe that might not be a good idea.
Why? What happened last night, Thieves? Do you know anything about the window that was broken?
No, nothing about that. But it did try and talk to me, and I wasn't that close to it. So if you just left it lie on the floor, it could, get through walls maybe.
What? Okay. Well, he's got a head
I mean,
start
it just
on us.
wanted me to steal the man's flute, which isn't that big a deal, but I don't want the flute, and it just seems like a difficult. It seems hard to learn and all that kind of nonsense. So, yeah.
You're saying this out loud?
Yeah.
She goes, so you're telling me this thing makes you want to steal?
Well, tried, sure.
Because
Do you want to learn how to steal?
No, we don't have many thefts. But there was a break-in last night at Volker's, the butcher's.
Who breaks into a butcher's? That's weird.
His carving knives were taken. No one knows where they've gone. It's very strange for this to happen in our town. We work together for the good of the town. We have very strict rules here. It's very rare that they're broken.
Yeah,
Nobody
we
knew how
definitely
to come
steal it.
in, so it has to be someone within the town.
Well, this is a mystery for later. Right now, one
Yeah.
of our new friends is in danger, and we have to go. If he
The
wanders
mystery
into,
of the missing carving knives on all that present.
Yeah, if he wanders into a nest of ghouls or something
They're
on his
pressing
own,
provoke.
He did.
Yes. So, you guys making haste? To where are you making haste to?
Can we say thanks and goodbye to Victor before we go? Is he about?
He is asleep. He sleeps in the early dawn, and I stay up, do the cleaning and the cooking, and then I sleep the day, and then we.
Yeah, he drank heavy last night too.
Yes, he does. He does. It worries me. But I've always been able to trust his instincts when it comes to alcohol. This is why we own a place that sells it.
I'm just gonna stand up and say, "Look, we'll thank him later. We need to go now. Like half-finished breakfast left on the table. Like,
It's all day, fine.
Well, if you must go, you must go. Go. Don't stand around talking to me.
Are we taking the scroll with her or what?
What were you going to say, Sharon?
I'm trying to remember his name. Ah, yeah. Can I leave a message for Battling Chris?
I suppose so, yes. What would you like to tell
Uh,
him? You'll be in for
I
his
have-
lunch.
Okay. Can you tell him I haven't forgotten about the barley? I intend to come back.
Right, okay, yes, I'll remember to tell him.
What I mean.
The barley. The barley.
Yeah.
Right. No problem. I'll tell him at lunch when he comes in.
Thank you.
No problem. Now go on. If you've got to go, go.
I'll just say to the group, like, I suggest we go and see Leo's friends very quickly on our way out too, because we don't want this tapestry interfering with us in any way.
Yeah.
In a dangerous situation, and I also need a shield. But
That's true.
We need to make haste.
We could always just, they might have a safe or something, we could just leave it in and come pick it up later if they can't make a scroll case right away.
Oh, yeah.
Like a hotel safe.
Actually,
Yeah, it's a
Can I-
blacksmith. I don't know. Probably makes them.
Can I pay extra to leave Madra here? Because this feels like a place I should not be taking him.
Yes, your mule is boarded free of charge too. So
Oh,
don't
thank
worry
you.
about that. Don't
What do
worry
you think
about
we're eating
that.
for
I'll run the
breakfast?
house.
Put him to work in the field.
Your mouth, the Aquanor.
Put that ass to work, girl.
You have carried your ass. here.
So
Shut
crass for such an early hour.
your mouth.
Yeah.
I know you, Caddy. You were singing along with the best of them, that horny bull.
She smirks to herself and goes, "I do like that song."
At this point, I'm like pulling my hair out, like, why are we not like,
Yes,
come on!
go.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. She says, "I'm not talking to you anymore." Now
Trudge
go."
over to the blacksmith.
Come on then, no.
Turn and go into the kitchen. So you burst out of the door in a rush into the early dawn of Braskov. The air is warmer. There's a slight breeze coming in off the Vlata River, which is giving it a nice fresh feel, but not uncomfortable. You can see the
What's
streets are
warm
already.
What's warm in the air? How's it warm?
Farts.
Things still grow. The air is still warm, but you can't see the sun.
Oh, chestnut.
Just severely overcast. Okay?
I've seen that episode of The Simpsons.
Heavily overcast. Yet no one questions why crops grow or why the air changes in temperature.
Photosynthesis, the
Why
word.
it's warmer in midday and cooler in dusk and dawn.
Obviously, the dragon that lives in the center of the island breathing. Come on. What are you asking stupid questions for?
Everyone.
Away!
knows that.
So you run through the street, the washing lines strung across the top of the street are already filled with clothes. You can see down the street, 3 houses away, there's a small group of people standing, talking to I do apologize. A red dragonborn male, huge, big red dragonborn male. You can see him like doing lots of this and pointing back and forward and like gesturing. You can't quite hear what's being said, but like, it looks like he's gesturing, telling people about his favorite knives that are now gone. You can see the crowd's like, oh man, like people are like shocked, and he's got quite a big crowd around him. But you head up in the other direction towards Kutnar's blacksmiths. And the closer you get, you can start to smell the smoke from the forge, and you can hear the ting, ting, ting of a heavy hammer striking metal. As you round the corner and come within sight of Kutnar's simple blacksmiths, he immediately stops. Ding, Goes, ah! Liaquisno! Kutna is happy to see you, brother. You survived. This makes Kutna happy. You drank like a true hero last night. Though not as much as Kutna, you have training yet.
Ah, well, if it isn't my favorite half-orc called Kutna.
What
How
can
are
I
you,
do
old boy?
for you? Kutna is good. Is Leoquino? Your head is good, yes?
It's fine now after a few more ales this morning.
And Daddy goes, Kutna never drink the morning after. Kutna never bad from drink.
Well, I've got to have at least one in the morning to steady the nerves.
Kutna just drinks water all the next day. But replenish the liquids to strike the anvil with strength.
Hot and heavy work, Kutna. I don't envy your style.
He just sort of flexes and goes, it has its benefits.
Nudge
No,
Leo
what
and be like, hurry it up.
You all.
You spent too much time with the apple.
You know, these boys with the we're in need of some sort of heavy metal chest, I'd say, to keep something in.
Sort of walk and carry this.
Yeah, something I can still carry. Don't want to be
For
dragging.
weapon?
Hearing the Aquanor.
Who what?
For weapon.
We don't
For a
need to
scroll.
carry it. About scroll size. Roll scroll size. I just leave it.
I'll have something. And he dusts wipes his sooty blacksmithy grimy hands just on his bare chest. Leaves streaks all down his sort of pale grey-green muscles. He goes into the back of the blacksmith's. He walks around in the blacksmith's a little bit. And he comes back out. And he brings out a metal quiver.
Oh.
Kutna made this. Kutna has no use for this.
Can you put a lid on it?
This work.
A lid?
Does it
Well,
have a
what
lid
do you
on it?
think, boy? Will that do it?
Can you close it so it's like sealed?
Is there a lid on it? Yeah.
No. Kutna can put a lid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will take half an hour.
Okay.
Slightly
It does not suffice. Kutna suggest Bathlan.
Are we even sure metal is gonna work, guys?
Well, it's either try it or destroy
Die.
it. Really, we can't carry it with you all the time if it's going to be constantly whispering.
That is true.
Unless you want to risk a new shield.
Speaking of which,
Also true.
Kutna, I'm in need of a new shield. What have you got for me?
Kutna will look.
Actually, if he has just a ball of lead, it's soft, so I can just smash it into the top. Boom, that's a lid. That'll do.
Yeah. Will we get it out again?
Well, I don't think the ghouls are going to have a lot of stuff we need stealing.
Brings back a perfectly usable blank shield. Looks like he was crafted it a while ago. It's very just nondescript. This is a standard shield. Kutna has this. Will this suffice?
Yes, it will, sir. What do I owe you?
7.
7. I'll just sort of raise my eyebrows at him and say, I'll direct you to my silver-tongued associate here and gesture at Arwen. Are you sure that's...
think that's
A
actually
fair
a pretty
price.
good deal.
So, Arwen, you don't even need to know that that is less than half price.
Yeah, it's less than half price. Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds good to me. Give him a nod. Thank you very much, Kutnar, for the Friends of Leoquinor discount.
Now don't try to con me. Not fair.
The 7 gold if he goes, Kutnar likely Aquanor, but that not why Kutnar give you cheap price. Kutnar respect what you did for Kutnar and Braskov.
Friends of Brockstoff price.
Does he have just like a chunk of lead lying around that I can literally just fold over the top of it? That will do for now. I mean, you can bend lead with your bare hands, so. Yeah.
It just gives you a ball of lead.
Okay, I hide the scroll in, just fold it over the top. Does he want anything for the metal quiver that he's not using?
Kutnar has no use.
Okay. Cheers.
I'll just give him a heartfelt thanks and make to leave sort of thing.
You are welcome. Come back to Kutnar anytime you need metal.
See you around,
I'll
Kutnar.
be waiting.
Yeah, will do.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we set off now, he might still have some limbs left.
Say that again?
Wait, who, me?
Yeah.
I said if we set off now, he might still have some limbs left.
Ah, right, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, Sindri.
Yeah, that guy.
Is anyone good at tracking? Try and follow his trail.
I guess
Hopefully he's
that
just
would-
fell in the river or something.
I don't know. That would be me. I'm a hunter.
That sounds pretty.
Sounds like it.
Yes, it would. I'm going to assume you all have all your packs with you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Wonderful. Okay, Arwen, so you will need to make a survival check
Okay.
to find Sindri's tracks outside of the Golden Stag.
That's a D20. I got an
Nice.
18, and my survival is +3, so that's 21.
21, fantastic.
Nice.
You can see there are quite a few different tracks in the damp earth of the street, but you manage to find Sindri's quite easily. As it is the only set of halfling tracks that has a trail of vomit behind it.
Behind it,
So
He's
it looks
walking
as if he's been. No, he looks as
Oh,
if
wait,
he's
no.
been walking forward and vomiting as he's
Sorry.
walking.
Yeah, that
You
makes
see
more
that it
sense.
winds its way in a very serpentine fashion back and forward across the road, leading west and south out of town.
Right.
Let's get after
Okay.
him.
Let's get going, I guess.
No problem. So you can
much is it?
follow the tracks for quite easily until they get to the edge of town. At the gate, which is open, you see that there is a huge pile of vomit.
Oh, a pile. Christ.
Huge pile of
Like
a mighty eruption. And
Or
for a
his
split
organs in it.
second, you're not quite sure which way he has went. Until you sort of notice up towards the road to the Strangle Thorns. There is a small tree just off the side of the road, which looks to have a piece of cloth hanging from one of the lower branches.
I guess we.
I'm
go
assuming
towards-
you go.
Yeah.
Go. As you approach the tree, the small piece of cloth actually takes shape and form. And you see that it isn't just a small piece of cloth. It is one leg of his breeches hanging from one of the branches. The rest of the breeches seem to be entangled in the branches in the tree.
Great, so he's pantsless.
Right, so he's asked to fight a ghoul without his trousers. I mean, so they're up the tree, half his trousers.
The tree. His pants are as if they were thrown with careless abandon into the
Right,
limb
so-
of the tree.
Not like he climbed up, got caught, and it like ripped. Right. Okay.
That is another possibility. Though when
Is there
you're
a lot
on the ground, you can't see any signs of impact.
So is there a lot of like foliage on that tree? Can I look up and know he's not up there?
Yes, you were able to see that quite easily, that it is just his trousers.
Okay. Do I need to do another check? Or am I able to just keep tracking where he may have gone? There's no impact under the tree, but
There is not, no. Yes,
Is
you
the-
can do another survival check, or you can do an investigation check on the trousers.
Might not want to inspect them too.
I'm kind of feeling like inspecting the trousers may not be that useful. Is the tree like on its own, or is it like on the edge of like a path or anything? Like you have to go one way after that, or?
No, the the tree is sort of it's alongside the road. You can see back past that there is like a quite a thick hedgerow, and then a little way after that you can hear now the sound of the wide Vlata River.
Right.
You
Okay.
know that just a little bit further up the road there is a bridge over the Vlata, a long stone bridge over the Vlata River that leads into the Stranglethorns and the Volfendraft road that runs through them.
Okay. I think I might roll another survival check just in case it's like fallen under the hedge or something and it's like comatose there. I don't want to go into the Stranglethorns if he's not actually there. This is probably gonna be like a 2 now. Oh, 1! Even better. The one with the 3 to 4. It's not very good.
4. So you're not quite sure where the tracks lead now. There's quite a bit of foot traffic, and it seems like there's a cart has passed through here this morning. It takes you 25 minutes before you find the tracks again, much further up the road. All of you have had to fan out in a line and do a picket search. You find the trail a bit further up. There is a small flute just before the bridge, lying just off the side in the grass.
Do I have a compulsion to steal it? I'm alright.
No, because you were after a loop.
Oh yeah.
After a flute.
Well, I don't know the difference.
So as you follow the trail, you come to the long stone bridge.
If no one else is, I'm gonna pick up his flute for him.
Yeah, he'll want that back.
Yeah, not so bad about his trousers though.
No.
Were they
Not so
torn in
much.
half?
Yeah.
No, they were just up in the tree.
I'm not climbing the tree in heavy armor to get trousers.
So you see
Bring
the
the whole tree down.
long, ancient stone bridge that stood here for hundreds and hundreds of years. So old now that no one now remembers who built it. Torlek, if you were to believe the history book, this is King Ceolwulf's bridge that he built single-handedly, holding the stone aloft over his head as he waded through the Vlata River.
Wow, what a guy.
Bet he made the other country pay for it though, or something, right?
Yeah. So this bridge stretches for almost half a mile to get over the Vlata River. It's a feat of engineering construction that's not been matched or seen since. It's a long walk. It's got high walls for a halfling, comes up to waist height on most humanoids as you walk over, and you can see that every sort of 100 feet there is a recess built into the bridge, a defensive recess. and the first one you get to, you can see that there is, well, there's no blunt way to put this, a puddle of piss in the third sort of defensive thing, and it doesn't look to be too old. It hasn't dried up completely. It's still little pools of it there. It's quite evident there is a puddle of piss. So as you continue walking across the bridge, you find various other items that seems to have fallen from the backpack. And you find his spare clothes have fallen out, his canteen, some food rations, and a knife. And at the very end of the bridge, you can see the vast expanse of the Stranglethorn, which is this huge wood. In the very far distance, you can see a mountain range behind it. This dead, sort of black and grey wood stretches from here all the way to the mountains, and for miles down to the south, and then for miles up to the north as well. But the very far north, you can see that the trees change and are no longer dead and twisted. You can see very far in the north, it's quite flat, and then it builds up as if you're going up over and round the back of the mountains. You can see that there is green foliage up there. So it's just this part is a huge, foreboding, ominous forest of twisted, dead trees with scratching, sharp branches sticking off. The expanse is huge. No sound of wildlife can be heard at all. It's almost as if the entire area is dead. The grass beneath your feet is yellow and brown. It looks as if the entire area has been choked of life for a very long time. And on the wind, the slight breeze that is blowing up the Vlata River, you smell death and decay coming from the north.
Oh.
And a shiver runs down your spines as you think, oh, could this be who we're looking for?
I couldn't have gone off that quickly.
I was going to say, it seems a bit soon. This is just I need to know, did we collect his things or did we just leave them strewn around the bridge on our way?
I imagine
I
Torlek
feel like
must
at the
have
very
carried all
least
of
we
them.
picked up his pants, so he has some pants when we find him.
Yeah, I've been picking up his stuff as we've wandered along,
Just
because I've already
carried
got
around
his,
like a laundry basket.
yeah,
I need
I've already got his flute. I'll be
pants.
shoving his pants in my bag as well. Like.
I needed to know that.
The food rations are probably spoiled, but the water skin is still full of water.
I'll just put Sindri's equipment in my inventory. How about that?
Right. So is that scent like really strong? Can we just like walk towards it, or do we need to?
Yes, you, with your tracking skills, you believe that the smell is about 100 yards into the forest to the north.
Okay. Well,
How would you all like to proceed into the forest?
Maybe happy to go on ahead with like one other person maybe, and have the rest stand at the side. If it's only 100 yards in, then should be able to shout.
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Into the dead forest.
Before you go, ladies, I have detect evil and good, so I can sense for 10 minutes if I concentrate, I can sense things like aberrations, undead, etc. within 30 foot. So if we go in, at least I can stop them getting the drop on us too much. But only if we all stand together, because it's a radius around me.
Yeah, I'm in.
Are we going stealthily or are we just going brazenly?
Probably, yeah, I could maybe a bit stealthily and scratch that shouting business. Maybe, like, I don't know, whistle trouble or something. Less attention.
Let's have stealth checks off you all, please.
Well, so are we all going in, yeah?
Yeah, is everyone going in, or is 2 stealthy people going ahead? I'm not sure. What the
Well,
plan
the
is.
2 stealthy people are going ahead.
No, I'm not stealthy, so
Everyone that's going.
I won't go.
I was
With
say I'm not stealthy, but I said I was going, so.
I've got 20 plus 4, so 24.
Wait, where did she go?
5.
Jess says as she falls over a branch.
So, okay, so as Jess looks towards the group and goes, decides to go with Arwen, you turn round and she's gone. She's disappeared, please, towards the scent. So you try and follow after her as best you can. As soon as you walk into the trees, the aptly named strangle thorns catch on your clothes. You feel like them tugging and ripping at your clothing. And as you try to extricate yourself from one such snagging, spindly branch, you manage to rip your jerkin free, stumble forward and have to put your hand out. And doing so, you touch one of the spined, thorny branches and give a slight yelp. It doesn't do any damage, but it gives you a bit of a shock. So you turn around and you are awash in a sea of razor-thorned limbs all around you. You can now just see the form of Arwen up ahead, moving towards the scent. After a few moments, the two of you get within 30 feet of what's making the smell. There's silence all around. And you creep closer and closer, ducking, weaving, and bobbing out of the way of these grasping tendrils, doing everything they can to hold you in place, impede your movement, keep you here in the strangle thorns, and rot you like everything else. But you manage to get yourself forward and creep forward. The source of the smell is visible now. You see pallid grey flesh, 2 staring eyes pointing towards the sky, slack-jawed open mouth frozen in a silent scream. It's not Sindri. But jutting from its chest is a very familiar rapier. As you get closer, you realize that this is the body of a feral ghoul, quite common in the wilderness of the Islands of the Moon. It's got several slash wounds all over it. Black blood has oozed from several puncture holes, and you can see that it has clawed at its own chest, trying to extricate Sindri's rapier. As you look at the body closer, you see one of the ghoul's fingers has a large strip of bloodied flesh caught on its claw.
Is there non-black ruby blood around? Is there red blood?
Only
or...
the strip of flesh on the ghoul's claw.
Right.
All that's left.
Okay. Well, now
And
that we know... Oh, sorry.
And it's definitely dead.
It is definitely dead. I mean, it was dead to start with. It's super
It's
dead now.
properly dead.
It's properly dead.
Okay, I'm gonna pull the rapier out so we can give it back to Sindri when we find him.
Yeah.
You
Should
can
we
do
go
this
out?
without too much.
How-
There's a slight flexing of the muscles which make you jump as you extricate the rapier, then it seizes down again.
Do
The
ghouls
charm so
like,
deep into it, it was lodged in its spinal column.
Ew.
do ghouls like, I don't know, do they wear clothes? Do they carry anything with them that we should check?
Ghouls, no. It's what
No.
feral ghouls look like.
Okay.
it definitely 100% ate him.
Right, so since we know where the ghoul lies, we should probably go out and tell the rest of them what we found, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And decide what to do from there.
Okay. So the rest of you that have been standing on the road, you watch the ranger and Jess disappear. Arwen and Jess disappear into the twisted maze of thorns and vines and branches and dead fingers in front of you. Silence all around. All you can hear is the running water of the Vlata River. No wildlife here anywhere. There's no signs of life as you watch up and down the road. Would you like to do anything, or are you waiting in silence?
I'll just be checking the straps on my armor, make sure it's all tightened up, ready to go.
Yeah, I think I'll just draw my mace and listen intently.
Yeah, or just being alert.
So tense minutes pass as the girls are investigating the scent, the source of the scent. You sit there, you wonder at the fate of this young halfling that stumbled into your paths and helped bring such an effect and such a momentous occasion for the town of Braskov. His part in hallowing it. And though he seemed brash and egotistical, you reflect on there being a good heart in there. It could not be. He helped save the town. So some of you may be feeling worry, curiosity as his fate. Others may just be experiencing a long walk with a hangover.
Is he a gnome or a halfling? I've written down gnome in my notes.
Yeah,
I
me
think he's
too.
a gnome. Yeah, sorry, I said halfling before. It's a gnome. I think he's a gnome. The character sheet here.
I've
I
got
think he
gnome.
said
Gnome.
halfling
written
originally
down.
and then corrected himself, so I think that's why everyone's confused.
Yeah. Players. Where is he? Wow. No,
We're gonna come back with a halfling and be like, "We found him." It's like, that's not him. Shit.
He is. He is a gnome. He is a gnome. You stand there waiting for the girls to return. Just audible over the trickling sounds of the river, you hear a ah!
Is the river like close by, and we can't really see it? Like it's down.
You can't see it. It's a few hundred. You've come past the bridge, and you're 600-700 yards past the river, so it's quite far back.
Okay. I guess I'll go and investigate the sound.
So the girls will hear that too. There's a whimper, and it sounds to be much deeper into the strangle thorns.
Oh right, I thought you meant it was coming from the river.
No, it's much deeper into the strangle thorns.
Okay, I'll wait for them to come back then.
Oh, I thought it was on the river as well.
This is slightly. It's deeper and more directly into them than the source of the smell. So it's as if he wandered up there and then has headed further in. And as you wait for the girls to return, are you coming back to the group, or are you going to the sound of the source of the sound?
Don't know. I mean, should we tell them so they can come with us, or should we go immediately to investigate it? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I think now we know there's ghouls in here, maybe safety in numbers, but at the same time, I don't fancy trekking all the way back through all this clingy shit and then coming back a third time. Oh wait, how far away are we from everyone else?
You are 200 yards, which is
Pretty far.
Okay.
yeah.
Pretty far.
You are 600 feet away from them.
Wow. 600 foot. Okay.
How loud was this yelp, for God's sake?
It was
So-
well, it was a like a cry, but I was trying to do it quietly because Jen's in
Okay.
bed.
Well, if I think it sounded like he was in like serious danger, I would probably look at the other two and be like, I think we better go.
Okay. Can we maybe hear that you guys are entering and like go investigate the?
Well, I guess we could roll stealth checks and you can see how loudly my armor's
Oh
clanking.
yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. I just assumed everyone was gonna be noisy.
Just like, they must be coming. Bang, down. Are you coming? Or are you just going to both stay there? The other two?
Well,
might as well come in.
yeah, if we hear a cry and Godfrey just says we should go, then I'm going with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are you guys proceeding into the Stranglethorns?
With
With
caution.
haste or with caution?
I mean, the noise just gave away whatever position it was, so maybe we should just go there fast.
Yeah, I vote with haste.
I need dexterity checks from all three of you then.
Wow.
Ugh.
Just as bad. 2
30.
fall immediately into the river.
13.
13. So Leo and Torlek managed to dash off into the Stranglethorns, ducking and weaving through the twisted branches. Godfrey, not quite as lucky, get caught quite quickly and have to extricate yourself quite noisily from one of the branches. You fall behind the others. Your movement is now slowed, waiting for Godfrey to catch up.
I'll just give up trying to do that. Put my shield out and just run straight at stuff.
Oh, there's this loud smashing and crashing of dead, brittle branches flying apart as Godfrey smashes through them. Quite audible to you, Jess and Arwen.
Right.
And as you make your way towards the noise, you hear another "Ah!"
Should we get
coming
moving
from
then, rather than
not
wait?
too far away, and then you hear
Yeah,
what
if we know they're
sounds
behind us, let's go.
like
Sorry.
a crossbow
Security.
going off. Like there's a loud thwack of a crossbow going off. And the closer you get, it seems to be some sort of ambient sound. Now the cries are, you can hear them. They're more often. Like there's loud ones that you can hear very clearly, and you can now hear sort of mumbling at the same time. The closer you get, you hear it's getting louder and louder as you want to make your way towards the sound. You all crest a rise, sort of coming at each other like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, sort of pincer movements, moving towards together. There's a small rise with the large, dead, white, grey trees sort of almost like blocking your vision. And as Godfrey smashes through the last of them, you can see down into this stagnant black pool. And in the middle of it, there's a single tree with large branches sort of splayed off. And you can see around the bottom of the tree, there is a large cluster of feral ghouls, this undulating, moving, ferocious mass of claws and teeth, all ripping at the bottom of the tree, trying to get to the prize, which you can see hanging 20 feet up in the air from a ripped backpack on one of the large thorns sticking out of the tree. There's a dangling, cindery wild runner with no pants, desperately firing his crossbow and trying to reload it while he's hung from his backpack. You can see the bolts are flying into the ghouls. Every now and again you hear "ah," and one will recoil, but then it's undulating, clawing at the tree. And you can see he's distressed. There's tears and snot running down his face, and blood running from a large gash wound on his chest.
Well, we found him.
That's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Ah!
Ah!